some damage here on the CT side. It's the pistol round to go live with our odds, which are surprisingly close.
Okay, I'm not sure if that's quite correct. There's no way that that's right. There's no way that that those odds are correct. So hopefully we'll be able to get those updated for you guys. So
oh, we've been told it is wrong, so that's okay.
Yeah.
We'll get you the real odds from our partners at LootBet, of course. Just right into the pistol round here. And ATTAX not even going to let me say my bit into the default right now. The flash is over from Slacks. Try to look onto the early control. The utility coming in. The smoke's going to be set up. Double flash and smoke for Scrug, smoke molly for Cressy. And they're basically committing to the A site at this stage.
And yeah, HONORIS are in a really interesting setup. They've got such a heavy mid setup. They've got 3 players out from mid. Kind of like all of them are really around this mid face, and it's like they're playing a retake setup at this point. So honestly, those cross smokes go down at the A bomb site. I can see HONORIS playing back, trying to retake 5-on-5. They've got a couple of smokes to use on the retake. They've got the kit onto Neo. And for alternate attacks, considering how quickly they took this ramp control, they're really starting to slow it down.
Minute to the clock. ATN haven't moved from these positions. They're still top of sandbags. They're still out to the ramp entrances. As FN moves up, starts to take a little bit of active contact to the A bomb site. HONORIS have seen nothing from alternate attacks other than the decoys that were thrown earlier from Slacks. No face, no contact, no presence. They vacated the A bomb site here. Ryko on the back lines, on the back stab. Now going to hear that utility coming in. Now will be the main man to try and pull one up against the T-side camp. Good in incendiary coming in from the CTs. The bomb to make his way up. Cressy's got to get there. So has Slacks. They've got to get a bomb plant now. They're down 13 seconds. Resistance coming in from the CTs. But Strong does get Ryko here on the backstab. First blood drawn by the T side here. Prism will be able to respond though. 4-on-4 situation. And USP's in the back line. They'll force alternate attacks back.
4-on-4. You got to think for HONORIS, they need to get a bit of a move on here, and they need to try and get someone onto the bomb, but the kills will they just keep coming in. Neo's going to try and stick the bomb. He's sticking the bomb and the knife. Well, it looked like it was going to connect, but in the end, it is the pistols to come out of the Glocks. And I'll tell you what, Jay, I actually think that that was a missed T-side molly. I don't think the City side had an incendiary, so that molly that stopped them from going forward was actually a T-sided molly.
A couple of mistakes there from alternate attacks. That was the case. Something that may throw them off a little bit going into their buy-up round, especially if they utilize that utility in a similar sort of fashion. Scouts out on the force buy here for the CT camp. Stomp going to look in, see that first round in Slacks, tagging out at 29 HP. Good start, UMP from Stefan, though. Two players to find. And the flick just running out of ammo against Stomp will get them both down. 5 versus 3. That's a $1,200 gain from this man.
Now, we spoke about how strong the Vertigo game is for this alternate attack side. Jay, they have lost it twice in the last 16 maps played on Vertigo. That's how strong it is for this German side, and you've got to think that they're going to be firing on all cylinders. Ryko trying to do the best that he can with the deagle out through mid, and well, he's only able to find a single kill. He's so low, so even over-aggressing's not really an option.
Stefan seeing one, tag him up, nade up. That's going to be a casualty. And the UMP will close it out with that final kill, so they should be able to recover the main weapons. Of course, the 2 AKs for Slacks and Meerbit. Scrunk can invest into another AK going into this next round. Again, watch this flick here from Stefan. Perfectly placed and perfectly timed. It was 3 kills for the man, so plenty of money gained all in all for the UMP. And those are also the wrong odds from LootBet.
I mean, if they are the right odds, I'd jump on the hype train of alternate attacks on this map.
Okay, so we're told that our API is broken, so if you want to get the true odds, you can go to LootBet by clicking the banner under the Twitch channel, and if you do go there, you can get 10 free CSGO spins and a €100 bonus on your deposit.
Lovely.
Of course, special out to our partners, of course, for in LootBet, and try to get that fixed for you so you can deliver the real odds on the screens. But for now, the eco, so the odds of HONORIS winning this round is virtually none. So 5-on-4 situation, very early on kill coming in for Scrunk.
Yeah, there is at least a stack over at this A-bomb site, just seeing if they can just find something in terms of numbers. But so far, hasn't really been too successful. And, well, the cleanup coming through. Taz is going to get 1 kill. the flying UMP going to be able to find the last. So Cressy being able to take 2 kills in the round. They're starting to certainly farm up a fair bit of money with a lot of these kills in both the second and third round coming out through the SMGs. But the AWPJ, it's up for Stomp, and really, I want to see some aggression coming out from HONORIS. See if they can try and take some ramp control, see if they could put the pressure back on the German side, and just maybe we could get an opening here for the HONORIS side.
A 3-0 start for ATTAX has certainly got themselves on the right foot. Orb straight in, away with a flashbang, lands on towards Scrunk, gets tagged up and taken down by the UMP. Ryko finds a nade to respond towards him, so again the Orb able to do his damage for the CT side, but not find a man advantage. 4-on-4, a lot of damage done to the T side though. Maybe it's going to get taken out in mid position as Taz drops him, slacks on 29, and Cressy trying to find his way back out to position here to join his teammate and just rotate to passive.
They've got a couple of options here. Stefan's kind of made his way out through ramp to this A bomb site. So potentially if he takes down the single defender here of Prism, or actually Taz is trying to back him up. Oh, that's big. Taz is having such a big round. 2 big kills out through mid and now at the A bomb site. This is a massive 2-man advantage, and you've got to think for alternate attacks, how do they bring this back?
Molotovs and flashes in. Cressy with the bomb should get planted 4 versus 2. On towards the corner plant and getting out of dodge as well. Re-smoke down to try to find a bit of cover. He's been seen by Prism though, getting taken down. They're going to get back to the bomb site. See 2 more coming out of the back line. Spray through, takes out a secondary kill. They're going to move forward as well. This will be an amazing aggressive play. They have no idea. They can't comprehend the idea that Aggressive will get this aggressive, and he gets the headshot on Taz as Ryko falls to the interim. 3 massive frags for Cressy and a 4-0 start for alternate attacks.
And you can't be making mistakes like that. That was a 4-on-2 advantage. Like, for Prism, what is he trying to achieve there? Like, he just runs through the smoke. There's no support. There's no utility. He gives up a super advantage for the T side, and from there, Cressy, you know, pushing through, just not expected at all. And that's a problem where if you make a mistake against a team like alternate attacks on a map like Vertigo, you will pay the price for it. And, well, that's exactly what happens. A 2-on-4 ends up getting clutched out in the post plant.
Taz going downstairs. Scrunk ready to receive this, man. A lot of aggression from the CT side as a whole, actually. The CZ can punish it, takes out 1, does damage to a second. He continues to maintain control. And Scrunk heard that reload. He knows he hasn't gone back up the ladder. Nades on. And Taz taking damage, drops in. Scrunk takes him down as Slacks gets Prism to respond to a 4 versus 3. Ryko moving in from the B side though, gets us back to evens again. 3-on-3 scenario, but now the bomb's going to make its way to the bomb site here. They should realize Slacks with a great wall bang, seeing where Stomp was peeking out, getting that shot well predicted, and Ryko will fall next up, leaving Neil alone. Does get another Deagle shot back, so damage done successfully to the T side. It won't mean much in the economy game, but still pretty decent stuff coming in from HONORIS. There were several moments where you thought that they may have been able to win the round.
That was actually a very nice round coming out from HONORIS. Now, one thing that certainly can be in the back of the mind of alternate attacks is, okay, you know, they like to get aggressive, at least in some portions of the map. We saw HONORIS completely pushing out through the B stairs. We saw Taz getting very aggressive out through ladder. So at least for the German side, thinking, okay, when we get to the gun rounds, let's just leave a single lurker over at the B bomb site just to kind of stop any kind of over-aggression from the CTs. Even Scrunk, he wants to try and get up close and personal out through ramp.
It's right there at the end of the smoke against Taz as well. He does his damage, does not get his kill. Prism's going to be there to support and everything, so Kalisha goes the way of the CT camp as Taz gets away at 5 points of health. He's certainly susceptible to trade, that much is true. Second kills come in against the T-side camp, so even more going the way of HONORIS for the moment. Rotations out position is Stomp. Prism look into the site, seeing Stefan next up. The flashes will come in from both sides here to try stall alternate attacks. Want another bomb plant to come in, but they've got a bit of breathing room here.
And they're just going to use their utility. Slacks might even just try and slow walk the angle onto Stomp. You've got to think Stomp really needs to be able to win out this fight. And alternate attacks using a hell of a lot of utility to the A bomb site. Not quite committing yet. And somehow Slacks wins out that gunfight.
You highlight him for a reason. Let's see if he can get the second kill and open up the bomb site in its entirety. Can't quite do so, but the smoke's coming down. Blind shots from Prism. Don't connect to anyone here. And now Ryko up there with the AWPs. spray through in the back lines. Neo gets tagged very, very low, and low HP across the entire CT board. Alternate attacks. P250 outspotted out by Slacks. The Molotov will force him back, though. Got the alley player to deal with here on the T side camp. Maybe it could be everything. Slack's going to wait the edge of the smoke, not seeing anything. They're on site now, tapping it once. Good kill from Maybe. Comes in against Taz. Blind shot against Ryko, takes him down. Orb shot missing its flick, but they know where Prism is. And he's so concentrated on Slacks that Maybe it's going to creep around him. He's going to try to look for the bomb in the midst of that smoke. Someone's going to spray through, and Maybe will take the damage, take the frag, take the 3K, and 6-0 goes on the board of Alternate Attacks.
And that's the thing again, you know, they've got a couple of man advantages. They had a 5-on-3 and they still let it slip. You've got to think for HONORIS, they need to play tighter on those post-plant retakes. They are giving up too many advantages. The fact that Slacks is able to slow peek into the AWP of Stomp and win out the fight is unacceptable. It is unacceptable for HONORIS. And when they're going to take a tactical, they've realized, okay, these rounds have been close. They have been very close. Yes, we haven't got a round on the board, but we need to stay focused. We're finding advantages. That's a positive at the moment.
And what a start here from Alternate Attacks.
Everyone's on 6 kills. I didn't even notice that. 6 rounds and 6 kills for everyone on the T side.
That's pretty impressive, actually. Like that is something you very rarely see. Well,
how cool is that?
I mean, for Masters and M4s out, not being quite as nearly cool here for HONORIS. I'm not even sure how cool. I mean, I guess it's kind of cool. it's one of those rare things where it's like it rarely you might never see that happen again. Like, you know, that's
that's how cool it is.
But it is also such a small, insignificant thing in the grand scale of this best of 3 that I'm not even sure that people are going to pay attention outside of us for our little comedy bit here. What a smoke. That was pretty accurately placed. Straight onto the stack position, so now they can't contest mid from stack. They're going to make their way back around the long way around. Prism in from alley from construction, gets Skrunked for that first kill, but no second frag. He sees that AWP and falls right back.
And I really like that from HONORIS, getting that opening kill and not over-aggressing. The fact that Prism finds that opener and just falls back. There's not a great amount of utility at the moment on the CT side. They're giving up ramp control, and Taz, he's over-aggressing here. He wants to have a look for a little bit more and see if he can find another advantage. And I'm not sure if that was necessary.
Well, Cressy will get Taz, so 4 versus 4 situation. Now, Alternate Attacks got 3 players to deal with here on A. They have gone for the A stand, the set default. Prism's right there. Cressy reads it. I think he knew. Smokes down. Cressy going to continue the forward face. Stomps right out of the line. 2 frags. He only gets that 1 kill. Stefan trades back. Ryko's there to drop the bomb to a 2-on-2. Orb making its way in. Ryko is tagged up through the walls. Got a player on site in Neo to get 15 seconds. Alternate Attacks got a lot of work to do, and Slacks will get that 1 frag. Needs to find Neo somewhere. He's creeping around the bomb site, looking to drop this player. Playing so close. Slacks is right there. Good kill comes in. And it will be a first on the board for HONORIS. A bit too much for the Orb to handle. The Alternate Attacks concede their first at the T side.
And the thing that makes this round success even more difficult, Jay, is the fact that they only hold on to 1 player staying alive of Neo. So you look at the buy going into round number 8, and you're going to be up against AKs across the board, and AWP out for Slacks, and you're running double MP9s in a FAMA. That's how rough the buy is. At least they recover that AWP to pass it over to Stomp at the minimum. And this could be the perfect opportunity for the T side to strike with another round victory.
AK in for Stefan.
Ooh.
SMG,
oh, you didn't see it?
Didn't see it! And the SMG of Taz can take it as his teammate goes down. The AWP of Slacks can respond. Stomp gets his own AWP kill back in, but Skrunk's creeping and beaking and looking for this headshot. Going to look all the way over to the A bomb site. This AWP has no idea. Stomp will hold his angle. Skrunk's going to continue facing forward. This is so risky. He gets that 1 kill, but Ryko's right there. He'll trade it. And all the efforts, all the push, all the trigger discipline is going to go to waste. Neo left alone in a 1 versus 2 situation for this M4.
He's open. They know they can rotate that bomb over. Merbert's got so much information, and Neo is actually like reading this. They've got a couple of options, alternate attacks. They probably go B, considering the fact that Merbert's saying, right, it is very much open at this point. Rotate the bomb over. We've got the time to spare.
40 seconds, and Neo's going to rotate back towards B. And have they played a mind game here? Maybe it's made his way back down the stairs. Where's Cressy? Is he back out towards the ramp default? They're going. Yeah, they are going back towards A.
No, they're not. They're going to B.
I don't know what they're doing, but either way, Neo's read this well. Here on the bomb site, ready to receive the hit. M4 standing. The utility coming out here. Smoke towards one side of the cross. Is already on bomb site. He's just going to wait for the bomb part to go down. Cressy falls. Maybe last man standing. And the 1 versus 1 does turn around for his kill and just keep alternate attacks in for this 7-1.
Well, that was a bit confusing, but, you know, Neo read that really well. Rotating over B, it's a gamble, but he stays, and well, that was probably his best chance of trying to win out the round. 7-1 up on the T side, and HONORIS, it's going to be a second tactical. And you've really got to be looking at Neo and Taz to pull this lineup together to at least make this first map competitive.
Oh, a second tactical called here by HONORIS. I'm not sure if they're really focused on this first map here. The second one has to be the main thing for them. We take a moment's respite here. You can take a moment to get to our case partners in Hellcase, Malta V and Malta V15, with some free money and a free 15% refill bonus if you go to the website. Open up some sick cases, get some sick skins like the ones you're seeing on screen. Taz has got a nice karambit there. I'm not sure what it is.
That's not the karambit. That's the Talon knife, isn't it? Like the new one. It looks like the karambit, but
I don't know. They're all karambits to me, so
yeah. Well, it looks like they're all round victories for alternate attacks, and Taz, well, he was trying to get to the bottom section of that ladder to not make any noise, and well, he did make noise, Jay, and he got taken down for it.
Yeah, he fell pretty quickly as he well, slipped off the ladder basically.
Yeah.
Second kill for Mirbit is Neo goes falling. Cressy keeping their eyes on the aggression. They're expecting the CTs to push forward from here, and they're right to assume. 1 versus 5 now for Stomp. In the back of the A bomb sites, this might catch Scrunk off guard, but the Deagle missing his shot, so now they can push the bomb back to the B site here as the rest of the C's just storm around the corner, jump face, get their headshot. The accuracy like that just shouldn't be allowed in CSGO.
Yeah,
so
it really shouldn't.
8-1 for alternate attacks. Taking the half here on the T side.
And Skrunk's like, you know what, I'll probably land this headshot. I would just check the angle. But, look, 8-1, things are looking really good for alternate attacks, and it's been very simple Counter-Strike, honestly. Like, it's certainly come down to HONORIS finding opening man advantages, but it just seems like these executions to the A bomb site, the post plants are really where the Germans come into their own.
Nades down. Damage done to Cressy and Skrunk here. M4 spray for Neo. Further nade on Cressy, can't quite take him out of action. They'll try their hardest and, you know, do their best to just force them back, but they're only able to get these kills. Able to do much here in the grand scale of things. Ryko's going to get more information, see where the AWP is, force Stomp out of the mid position. Even though there is T-side presence, they could split their way in towards B from here, although the majority stack is looking into the B main entrance.
And for HONORIS, I mean, they're just waiting for some sort of aggression to come out for the T side, considering how many players are around at this B bomb site. But it goes both ways. Alternate attacks waiting for a little bit of aggression to come out from the city side. I'm slowly taking some ramp control. And I tell you what, just in terms of like utility and crossfires being set, alternate attacks have been able to take ramp pretty much every round relatively easily. This is probably one of the slowest rounds we've seen from them yet, though, Jay. 40 seconds on the clock, and not even a single kill has gone either way of each team.
Smoke down, nades up. Slack's going to try and find some sort of entrance here, looking for wallbang connections. None of them will be seen. Prism's going to get forced out this alley entrance. Burning a little bit, they heard that. Raiko strikes first in the mid position. Mirbit goes down. Prism blinded by a flashbang, and Cressy will swing out, get that kill through the box. 15 seconds. The bomb's yet to make its way towards site. A player on boxes could still shut this bomb plant down, especially it's open towards white. Molotov's in. Stefan here towards the default position as Neo gets scrunked down through the smoke. 4 versus 3. Slacks again finds a trainer. There's an AK on site and AWP in the back line. And Stefan's there to support that AWP as Stomp trumps back in. Again to evens we go. Alternate attacks holding the bomb site from passive. HONORIS trying to get somewhere up here. Smoke onto that site and Slacks gets Stomp at the smoke. Neo on site sticking it. Not going to get all the way forward for it though. Got the defuse kit and rotates back out position against his AWP. He's got to swing wide. And the AWP misses shot. Neo with a chance back on the bomb. Sticking it one-on-one. Cressy's going to fire. Cressy's going to take the shot. He's missing. Neo's so low. And the smoke clears just in time for him to accurate up his spray and take the 9th for alternate attacks.
Oh, that was down to the wire. That was getting pretty scary there for Cressy. What's that?
Honestly, a lot of these rounds are really, really close from HONORIS.
And I mean, it sucks that they've only got 1 round, right? Considering how close they really have been. So you kind of think that that might play into the mind games a little bit for the Polish side. Like, oh, guys, you know, if only we did this in round number 8 or we did, you know, that in round number 9, then we could have been able to put 5 rounds up already. But that's the thing with Counter-Strike sometimes. You know, you can be so damn close, but also so damn far.
Damaged on the Stomp and Raiko. Very early on here in this eco round is for HONORIS, just a basic upgrade pistols. Couple of Deagles in, CZ as well. Kevlar for Raiko is going to be the main extent of the protection. As alternate attacks. HONORIS facing in against them. Stompers get 1 good pick on Mirbit. Scrum gets 2 frags. Traded back as a stack actually works pretty well for the CT side. 2 rifles they can recover and an AWP as well. All right then, they will make their way into the A bomb site. They know it's really pretty much clear here. A 2v2 retake for HONORIS. Do they go for this? We do now. Taz going to get a second pick, and suddenly Cressy's left alone. Molotov's on site, burning a little bit. Top of the red box. It takes out Taz. No idea that Neo's already in position. And that will be an eco victory for HONORIS.
Okay, well, I didn't expect them to get a round victory there, considering that it really was just a couple of upgrades, but considering the 2 versus 2, you know, they had every right to go for that save and bring that AWP and AK into the following round, but they realized, considering it's just a half buy, that they're going to at least be able to afford an AWP in the next round. Let's just see if we can go for it, see if we can make it a round success. And, well, HONORIS, I see a couple of nice shots coming out from both Neo and Taz. And Taz is, well, at the moment, the oldest active playing Counter-Strike player in at least like a top region of Counter-Strike. And he's still showing he's got what it takes, Jay.
Only 2 rounds so far in the CT camp, so a bit more work needs to be done from those guys. Smoke set as the T's go back to their ramp defaults. Alternate attacks loving this A default setup. It looks like the incendiaries will force them back for the moment. They're going to change their minds. No, they're going to continue to commit.
They're going to try and flash Taz into over-aggress here, but for the T side, they're here in so many numbers that any kind of an overextension you would think is going to get punished. And, well, there it is. There it is. There's the punishment. And that's what happens when you try and over-aggress to try and take some control out towards ramp.
Meanwhile, aggression comes in from the T side, and a little amount, a little dosage there from Stefan on towards Neo. He wasn't even pushed out of that main entrance. He was there on the bomb site. They all got taken down, so responses from alternate attacks. So 5 versus 2, and Stomp and Raiko left alone, or blind firing. They know it's there, but they're not going to give him a chance to get the kill. I say that, and Slack speaks right in at the worst possible moment there. Smoke towards Cross, and the bomb plant will be secured as finally it fires back. Landing close, but I think Stefan's covered. Molotov will force it back away, and now 2-man advantage for alternate attacks on a retake.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough retake, and you got to think Stomp going to be thinking about saving, you would hope. But he's staying around for a little bit longer. And one thing that's like really cheeky about Vertigo is when you get into post plant, if you can really force the CT side back, there are some very cheeky angles, especially on that A bomb site, where you can kind of like play behind pillars and behind the railings and what have you. It only really works if you can force the CTs really deep into some retaking positions. And well, for alternate attacks, it's just rock solid. And it all really starts off from Scrum getting those 2 fantastic kills. When HONORIS, you know, they flash in the angle, they try and push out to take gunfight out for ramp, and it just does not go their way at all.
And while this map going about as well as we expected it to here for alternate attacks, HONORIS unfortunately unable to make the damage happen. Orps then falls in, Orps versus AKs. Alternate attacks. Back to the ramp position as they usually love to. I mean, A is basically in the play for basically every single good successful round for HONORIS, with a couple of exceptions when they played the B default that ripped apart, and of course the rotations when they realized that B was open after they hit a bit of resistance on the A site. It has just basically been A plays over and over. DD trying to regress further forward to their own right. Tad's going to get taken out. Prism's right there as well, and Scrum will double up, look for his triple kill. No, Slacks takes Stomp down. And again, a 5 versus 2 on the entries here. They've got a player back at Sandbags, who could be a crucial element. The Molotov forces him out, and he goes down, therefore leaving it all to Raiko back on the B-bomb site. 1 versus 5 for him, and they should know this will be 11 for attacks.
Man, like this is just so one-sided. And yeah, look, some of the rounds have been close, but you think in the majority of this first half, and attacks have just looked in complete control. They're playing with so much confidence at the moment, and they're playing at a really high level. I certainly think that when we saw them in 9-5 a couple of days ago, you know, we saw a couple of big upsets. You know, they lost to teams like Level Up, they lost to SG Pro, but one thing, at least in the games that I've seen from alternate attacks, it seems like they struggle against like unknown teams, like teams like Level Up and SG Pro, who aren't really around that top region or like tier 2 region of Counter-Strike. But when they're against most of the tier 2 teams, they put up some very decent results, and we're seeing that so far against HONORIS. Third tack.
A third tactical coming in from HONORIS.
No money as well.
It has been a rough graft for them. And I think they kind of realize that their chances in this matchup is going to be... they're slipped quite far away from them. I don't know if maybe they're trying to get like a decent competitive scoreline in. Maybe they're trying to get like just some sort of consolation to the CD half. Maybe they've got something up their sleeves at the T side, but I don't know, man. I feel like if I'm HONORIS at this stage, I'm just sort of like just trying to focus on mentality game, just like try not to get too low about this about this victory, because you know it's not your map pick, it's not a map you play well, it's one of the best maps in the pool for attacks. So, you know, look towards Dust 2 instead. You feel me?
Yeah, look, I'm with you there, and I certainly think that mentality has to come through, because I mean, one thing that may be floating on their mind is, well, you know, we got 9 rounds against them in Loot Bet, we got 10 rounds against them on Vertigo in 9-5. It's certainly not as many this time around, but you've got to be looking at the future, and you've got to be thinking positively about going into your map pick of Dust 2. But even still, you know, thinking positively and having like a right mindset is certainly difficult when you just get absolutely wrecked on the first map of the series.
And maybe again what this tactical is about, to try and avoid getting completely decimated, and 16-2. Consolation prize that might boost into the next round off the back of the victories they're taking here. Unfortunately, alternate attacks are going to do as much as they can to ensure that HONORIS do not get their way back in, but the Eagles out, moving in against Stefan. Not getting the kill, doing damage, but not a kill. Last round of the half, and we're looking down 12-2, probably 13-2 if alternate attacks keep getting their way. HONORIS with one final rifle buy to try and get something, anything to work with in the second half.
And it always seems, Jay, on the A stream of Malta Vibes, we just get one-sided affairs. We've had, what, a 16-4 in Dust 2 to start off the opening best of 1. We go into this best of 3 series, and, well, alternate attacks are already up 12-2. It just seems like, I don't know what it is. It's the curse of the A stream.
Curse of the final round here for alternate attacks. Commonly seen the fact that they just get some one-sided affair, and then the last round is the one that goes the way of their opponents. The Slacks will drop Stomp. Stefan gets Prism next to trade back to a 4 versus 3, so it looks like they're going to break that curse. Knock down, M4 moving in. AK burst out from Cressy will try take down somebody, but no one's going to be seen. M4 for Taz. Deagle's on, nades up. Can't get the frag.
And they're just gambling. They just know we have to gamble this A bomb site. Even Raiko's kind of thinking about maybe it's a mid play. And, well, they're starting to over-aggress. Taz at least drops that bomb, slacks with the AWP, finds the 1-for-1, but he needs to follow up with a little bit more, but it's going to be Cressy to chime into the action. Raiko, last one left, and, well, he's put up a pretty good performance so far on this CT side, but it hasn't really been enough to grant them too many rounds. Gets a 10th kill. But no more than that. 13-2 in favor of the alternate attack side. Oof. That's a rough first half.
Indeed it is.
Yeah.
I mean, anything with
orange.
this scoreline is going to be a little bit weird if you've got double digits on the opposing side, but this one in particular is that, like, traditional sort of buffer zone. It's like, you know, usually when you see around a scoreline like this, you know, you're thinking, hey, they could have a pistol forced by Eco at the very least. It's something like 12-3, for example. Then you could potentially grind back to overtime. So you have that much, you know, potential there for the HONORIS side. But obviously they don't have that here. Pistol loss. They got an Eco to get the rifles out, and that will be a very harsh buy-in to what will end up being map point for alternate attacks. And again, I don't want to be too critical about it because this was the expected map pick of alternate attacks. It is expected map victory for alternate attacks. Into the pistol round we'll go, and we'll see if HONORIS can do anything to try and contest against these guys.
Oh, this HE, if it gets placed right into the bomb planet, this could do so much damage. Here we go. Oh, okay, there it is. The double HEs takes down the player Stomp. Unfortunately, he gets the bomb down, so they don't deny the bomb plant, but they've got a man advantage.
Taz creeping in the back, though. This could be a back that works pretty well. They're going to check it. Stefan takes him down. 4 on 4. USP with the perfect headshots. Raiko on towards Cross. 3 players going to make their way around. Cressy and maybe get those kills. Cressy gets Neo next. And that is a complete shutdown from alternate attacks on the retake. Look at the HP. Look at the HP. Not a single point of damage done to any of the CTs, despite the fact they secured the bomb plant, despite the fact they were on a retake. HONORIS. Like, when it comes to rounds, it doesn't get much worse than that.
It doesn't, and, well, alternate attacks, that's a statement if I've ever seen one. You know, they put up such a great performance on the T side, and we're going over into that second half. They swap sides, and it seems like it continues. At least with the bomb plant going down, we can see the force coming up for HONORIS, and, well, this is their last chance to at least make this map competitive, I'd say. They lose this round, and it's probably going to be 16-2. But they're going to be faced with a fair bit of aggression, and starting things off, at least it's a one-on-one trade.
4 versus 4, M4 from Arthur to set up the crossfire, and actually they do get overwhelmed here. It's all left a mere bit now with an SMG on bomb site. Needs Stefan to get to here. Seeing Stomp's head. Can't take the frag. A bit premature with his shot. Didn't have to give up the information to the man. The M4 does swing in, take us back to even standing. Once again, HONORIS will get the bomb plant. Will they secure the round? Will they secure their survival round? Face away from Stefan, still gets the reface out. And adjust against Prism, leaving it all to Raiko. 37 HP. Kit is on mid, he's a high HP man. Stefan's going to face into the smoke, goes out the flashbang away from his position. He's going to be completely blind at the sandbags. He's seen now. Got to get this man on site. They've tapped it, they forced the position. They'll get the defuse, they'll get map point.
Wow, this has just been impeccable, to say the least. It has been very beautiful Counter-Strike coming out from alternate attacks, and honestly, even like just things like repositioning, crosshair placement, realizing the fact where players are, all just things like in terms of game sense has been really impressive from alternate attacks, and it shows by the scoreline. One thing to also point out, Jay, is like it's not even 1 or 2 players for alternate attacks that have been fragging at like 30 kills or something. The kill distribution is very close to one another.
13 rounds to this comeback for HONORIS. At the very least, they have the full-blown set of rifles out. A couple of Galils in, but Scrum going to get caught off guard for the opening frag, so that's something for HONORIS to work with. Wesley knows that they're all there, though, and takes Prism right back out. His trade game has been so good to this ramp position, but it does get overwhelmed in the end. 4 versus 3. Still an SMG for Slacks as well, so it's not the best of lineups here from the CTs. Like their 3 men into this position. The M4 on cross. Neo's going to get spotted. Sprayed, taking out only 1 frag. Slacks gets 2 kills, though, and the SMG is the thing that gets it. If it was rifle, sure, but he's on for his 3k. Doesn't quite find it. 9 HP for Taz, though. Stefan knows how to deal with this. He should secure the kill.
And Stefan, all it's going to take is just a single bullet, and for Taz, he doesn't even have the bomb on his back. It's dropped into that default position. You've got to think Stefan has got all the advantages at the moment. Let's see if Taz can do anything with it. Ooh, okay. This is now very doable for Taz.
Low HP for both players. 30 seconds to the clock. Stefan waiting for Taz to push forward at the smoke towards that main area. He's checking out the back lines. They are moments and feet away from each other. Footsteps being hard, and Taz wins the fight. Just secures the round, just by the skin of his teeth. Couldn't get the AK, unfortunately, but that's fine. The most important thing for HONORIS is the fact that they stay alive.
Oh, that's huge. That's a big clutch coming out from Taz. The fact that he's only on 9 HP up against, what, 80 at 1.4, Stefan? That's huge. That's a really big clutch. And well, that's going to at least make them, you know, a little bit hype, something to kind of cheer about, something to celebrate. Unfortunately, the celebrations can't really go too far because they've still got a long way to try and come back into this. And alternate attacks, they're not even worried about, you know, saving until they get into the rifle round. They want to try and force the issue. They want to end this right here, right now.
And they can still do it on this round as well. Look at Mirbit here in ladder. He's so ready for the T-side players to make their way out for a rotation, hoping to get some good frags on their board. None will be seen here for the attack side. They're going to set themselves up through the defaults here. Prism catches Scrunk for that opening kill on Ali. They quickly make their way into A. We've got Cressy in the back line, the SMG out to play for here. Smokes up, will be seen. They know exactly where they're at. Slacks spams through and gets Neo. The bomb plot will be received. 4 on 4 for the retake.
A good spam coming through in terms of damage from the CT side, and they're able to bring it back into a 4 on 4. And you've got to think Mirbit can allow this backstab to come through out from the ramp position, but he needs to make sure he's timing it right to see if he can get the synchronization in with the CTs on the bomb site for the retake.
No kit, they have to be quick about this. Good shot from Taz, blind off with a flashbang, still gets Stefan for a ride. Cressy will take Prism, the Riker's going to swing in from Ali, get himself 2 kills. And maybe on the backstab, can't do anything from there. I don't even think he has a weapon on him. Either way, 1 versus 3 for him, he can't win it. And HONORIS will stay alive for the moment here. It's, again, still a difficult comeback, still a lot of work needs to be done to get back into control. But they are slowly making their way up.
Okay. Well, this is good for HONORIS, you know. Yeah, I mean, you can make the clear point that, well, alternate attacks are for 15 rounds and they're 1 round away from taking us to a second map, but at least for HONORIS, build up a bit of confidence. You know, even if you get 6, 7 rounds, you know, at least be happy that you allowed a comeback to come through and stop that momentum from alternate attacks. Because you think about it, Jay, if they were to close it out like 16-3, 16-4, then they go into the second map firing on all cylinders. But if you take a few rounds away from them, that might just slow their momentum down just a bit, just an inch.
Minute to the clock, a little bit over that much. HONORIS establishing mid control as alternate attacks have stacked in towards mid, actually. Team 1 USP on towards the sandbag stack. Players run boosting their way around. Gets that one kill. Neo's already in the B bomb site though. He'll get one pick, drop the AK. 3K gonna get denied by the USP. But Stefan's best bet is to grab that weapon, save it, maybe get an exit frag, but definitely not get the round here for alternate attacks. HONORIS are closing in to ensure that doesn't happen.
He's gonna try and get the rifle. Ooh, he does just get it. There is a player right behind him from stop, and, well, that's going to be the T-side winning out. So, 3 players staying alive. It's a 5th round up for HONORIS, and all that really comes down to is obviously opening up that B bomb site and getting that information. Yes, there was a couple of nice kills that came out from mid, but it was expected that maybe 1 or 2 kills go the way of the CT side. And now going in to the rifle round. This is where it lies all important for the Poles.
Maybe going to look for the opening kill against Taz, but not to be. The nade's back on. Doesn't land perfectly there from the CT player. So alternate attacks letting their position slip a little bit, letting their confidence slip. Obviously, they still have a lead, which can't slip until they get to overtime. So not quite as easy for HONORIS to gain that back, but 5-on-4 situation. Grunk. M4 here at the Danger Wood. HONORIS go back to passive positions here.
And lining up a bit of smokes over towards that A bomb site, or to the B bomb site, I should say. I'm not sure if they're actually going to commit off the back of this. Neo, seeing if he can just spot out a little bit of information. Oh, the timing, he can get taken down here. Great spam coming through, and the NWP Slacks does not hit the shot, and he can't escape back. That's a man advantage being regained for the HONORIS side.
Awkward spray from Cressy. Stomp takes him down. 2 versus 4. Molotov's in. Scrunk's going to get out of dodge, and so is Stefan. They are running for the hills. This will be 6 now for HONORIS, continuing to grind up every single round they can. Now within the 10-round deficit. But alternate attacks, it takes 1 good round though, and that's the main thing here for HONORIS. They have to keep the momentum going. They have to disallow any sort of confidence here from the CT side, because the moment they get that first round, it doesn't even matter if it's a rifle round, an eco round, a force buy.
Yeah,
it's game over from there. So just keep going and keep enabling these confident rounds in particular for HONORIS. The fact they've got 4 players out here builds up the economy. So any damage that they can sustain here could just be, they can play reckless and continue to wreck them.
But why not? You know, play with no fear. Play a bit reckless, see if you can just, you know, find some success. And you've got to think for alternate attacks, I certainly think when it gets to double digits, that's probably when they'll start getting a little bit nervous, if it gets to that. But at this point, they're probably still taking this pretty calm, you know. I would certainly say they're taking it seriously, but they're still in the fact of, you know, we've got a lot of rounds to work with, let's not overcomplicate things, let's just play our own game, and if we can do that, we'll be able to close it out. Going into round number 22. It's not going to be a force buy, which makes a lot of sense. I certainly would have been worried if they went for a force. But the aggression comes out from Scrunk, and, well, at least to start this round off, he's done a pretty good job, but the trades come in pretty quickly.
Yeah, right, good support as Taz gets Scrunk and Meerbit falls. Aggression that didn't quite work well for them. Of course, this so weird sort of halfway round around the rifles they had for alternate attacks, so they can take risks like that. More mid control coming out from the Deagle and the M4 that remains, and Ryko will be the man to receive it if they do decide to push forward. They grab that AK here to work with. Going to drop in as well towards ladder room. This could be well timed here from Cressy. Ryko suspect the man he does, and Cressy still gets the kill for it. 3-on-3 now. Deagle on site here from Slacks. How much can he get done? 3 beautiful headshots could be everything. Taz has been seen. These smokes go down. He's setting up his nade as well to the bomb plant position here. Retake could still come out from alternate attacks. I think it will. But they can't deny it from their position.
And you've got to think alternate attacks are going to go for this. They're going to have enough money to go for the round investment in the following round. So really, it doesn't, you know, might as well go for it. At least see if you can find something. And cross smoke's coming up. And so far, I haven't been able to find a kill on this retake just yet. They need to try and get someone onto the bomb. Prism on the swing. He goes down. Look how low the HP is. And Taz just trying to spray through. That second kill coming out. And the Glock's going to be able to finish him off. Oh my goodness. That was vintage Taz right there.
Very good effort from alternate attacks, doing damage. Unfortunately, it does not mean much for the economy. They've let it build a little bit too far. Orps and AKs in for the T side. We can watch the kills coming in from Taz against solo HP across the entire CT board, enabling that spray transfer to come through in this final shot on the burst. Straight to the head of Stefan, so an impressive shot. It would have landed anyway, but either way, the CT camp. Orps M4s against the Orp and the AK. Look at the aggression from Scrunk now. Oh, and ATTAX taking a leaf out of the HONORIS playbook. This aggressive play did not work out all that well for HONORIS on CT side, though. We'll force them back at least.
It's taken so much map control. HONORIS have not even like fought this. They've just said, you know what, you can take it. And at least for the T side, when you give up ramp control like that, it means that you're going to get forced into trying to take mid or trying to commit to the B bomb site. It really doesn't give you too many options on Vertigo, and that's why it's so important of the CT side to try and take ramp control, at least in the early round. Holding on to it and keeping it for the rest of the round is so impactful. And HONORIS using a little bit of utility over towards B, but it looks like they slowly want to make their way back towards ramp, J.
Indeed they do. 4 players. There's one going to be joining them just behind it. It's the bomb. Back and Neo, the peeking from Slacks and Scrunk goes the crossfire set. What a shot! M4 goes down, but Slacks is still kicking and screaming, and Neo is the last thing standing. 1 on 4, an ace clutch for the veteran, flashing into the bomb site, and Cress is going to see him. 16-7 alternate attacks there with a very confident AWP, and M4 crossfire will secure themselves the map victory on map 1 of the series.
And look, that very impressive stuff coming out from alternate attacks. We see them, you know, maybe taking a little bit of a while for them to close out their map, Jay. But in the end, you know, HONORIS, they just did not show up into the plate. And you can kind of understand that. Vertigo being the map pick of alternate attacks. They've still got a chance to redeem themselves going into Dust 2. But for alternate attacks, I was very impressed from that performance. We saw a lot of consistency coming out with Slacks with that AWP. So all in all, for alternate attacks, you know, I would even say that they suppressed my expectations in that first map.
Yeah, I mean, credit to them. You know, they did quite a great sort of. They put up quite a great offensive on the T side. You know, and given the fact that they were basically on the ropes, they were basically done. You know, the fact that they were still able to hold in and try to do something out there, like that's still pretty impressive there for the HONORIS side. They do lose that first map though, Greg. The question is, how much of that momentum can they carry through into the second map of the series?
Yeah, look, they certainly should be able to really turn it around, I would say, considering the fact that, you know, Dust 2 is coming up. It is their map pick. For HONORIS, I think they're going to have a better showing. I don't know whether it will be a map victory from them. We'll have to kind of wait and see. But I certainly expect at least they're going to get to double digits and beyond. But really, for alternate attacks, I don't think they would have been able to shut down the momentum going forward, but they've certainly made a statement. And for HONORIS, the pressure's probably starting to build, you know. They got off to a great start in the best of 1. They pretty much got slapped, I would say, on Vertigo. So now going on to Dust 2, it can go either way. They can either go, right, we've played it well so far today, or, you know, guys, this is really important. Pressure's back on us.
The pressure is indeed on for HONORIS at this stage. Being a map down is never easy, but they have to focus on their map pick. Dust 2 is coming up next. They had a fantastic map up against an endpoint on this a little bit earlier today. Can they replicate against alternate attacks? We'll find out after this very short break. Do not go anywhere.
Nice shot. Lock and load.
Wow, very good. Let me show you how it is done. Yeah, no. Woo, damn! That was one of the best tickle fights I've been to.
And welcome back to Malta Vibes. Welcome to our best of 3 series, of course, between the boys of Alternate Attacks and HONORIS. If you're just joining us, you missed out on Vertigo. It was the Alternate Attacks map pick. It was a fantastic map for them, 16-7, to add to another it's just another map to add to the incredible win streak that these guys are on, the incredible sort of results that they've held on Vertigo. Not too surprising that HONORIS would lose that much again, given the stats, given the history we've seen from Alternate Attacks on this one. Dust 2 is going to be the main concern because, again, one of the main things that we sort of highlighted is the fact that, yes, it is a good map for Alternate Attacks. Yes, it is one that we could potentially see them taking 2-0, and yes, also it is a map that they've beaten them on before, you know, back in their first series in about what was it, June-ish time. But we did see that amazing Dust 2 coming out from HONORIS a little bit later on today, Dwayne. So, you know, I have to ask you, which one holds more prevalence, the recent result or the consistent result?
I would certainly say the recent result. You know, HONORIS, you know, you could talk about consistency, but, you know, one thing that a lot of the time stats don't give you is that, you know, teams might be working on things weeks in between games and between series and things like that. So, look, honestly, for HONORIS' sake, I certainly felt like they did their homework against Endpoint. I certainly think they read the veto incredibly well because you could see, especially on the City side, they were reading the game incredibly well. We saw a lot of aggression coming out to get some backstab plays. We saw a lot of great team flashing and, you know, flashing them into angles and things like that. And considering that the first map of Vertigo was one-sided, I certainly think that Dust 2 is going to be a bit more of a brawl in terms of the competence between both these sides.
Yeah, I'm with you there for certain. You know, the question for me really is can HONORIS pull enough together to turn that Dust 2 to their favor? Because, again, one of the main conversations about the Endpoint result is that they were anti-stratting them hard. You know, it's like you said earlier, they did their homework. They knew what was going on. They knew how to deal with a lot of the Endpoint T-side setup. They knew how to, you know, get the frags against them. They knew how to adjust against the CT side as well and get their T-side in order, which obviously is expected for a map like Dust 2. But can they do the same thing as Alternate Attacks? They haven't had the same opportunity to anti-strat them. They haven't had the same opportunity to adjust against this team. They obviously, I imagine, they went through the demos of their last best of 3 that they faced off against them on Dust 2, and they probably have, you know, been able to try and read it as something out there. So they might have some sort of notes to go with. But I don't know, man. I still think it will be close, but I'm kind of riding the coattails of the 2-0 for me.
No, I'm the same. I mean, one thing that can certainly be a big factor going into Dust 2 is, you know, where was Stomp on Vertigo? We saw the AWP in his hands many times, and he really was not finding impact, whereas Slacks, on the other hand, he was very consistent. He went positive 10 KD. Yes, maybe he wasn't a massive fragger, but in terms of consistency, it was certainly there. So, look, jumping into the knife round, Jay, I'm with you. I'm still on the 2-0 hype train. I certainly think that HONORIS can bring it close, and I'd hope to see them get to double digits, but, you know, I'm backing the Germans in this best of 3.
Well, a reminder for you all that Malta Vibes is brought to you by Gaming Malta, a home of gaming excellence. Maybe excellence in the server for Alternate Attacks. Again, I think a lot of people are riding their hype train. I guess we'll find out who the odds are like, hopefully, in a little bit of a moment time. But yeah, the German core certainly, to me, is the favourite in this one, and I don't see any reason to doubt that. You know, just again, based on how well that Vertigo went, based on, you know, their stats on Dust 2, based on the fact that they got a one-sided victory against them on Dust 2 previously. You know, I think the only way that we're going to be seeing anything sort of change up between these two teams is maybe if the T-side start comes out from HONORIS, and it will do. But even then, how much can Alternate Attacks do when it comes to Dust 2?
Yeah, look, I certainly think they'll be looking at trying to see if they can get those double AWPs out on the City side, especially if they've got the money line for it. We didn't see it very often from Scrunk, and we even look at those odds from LootBet, and, well, that's what we're talking about, 1.54 for the Alternate Attack side. Now, if you do want to get those fantastic odds from our betting partner, you can head on over to the links down below underneath the Twitch channel. And I would say that those odds, you know, they make a lot of sense. They certainly favour the Alternate Attack side to be able to 2-0 out. And look at the aggression coming out from Cressy out towards mid. He's going to get so much information.
And there's a lot of stuff for Alternate Attacks going to rest on him being able to stay alive and get the backstab set up. 2 players towards his B bomb site. Flashes in. The B doors are open. Let's see if Scrunk can use that extra bit of breathing into his favour. Slacks putting away the wrong moment, seeing that bomb planter, and does end up dropping him. But trades coming in from Neo and Prism. Prism in particular seeing the traces out on the midst of the smokes. As Taz gets Cressy in the back line, it's going to be a 4-on-2 situation. Mirbit and Stefan Last two players left, both coming in from very different positions on the bomb site as well. One player still setting up towards the lower tunnels, can't even enter from upper. And it looks like they might have to throw in the towel from here.
Oh, what a round coming out from HONORIS. And honestly, look, if they were maybe 10, 15 seconds slower than what they were, it could have gone very wrong considering the aggression from Cressy. But look, it was good, it was quick, the entries were very nice, and they were able to split the CTs. We saw both Slacks and Scrunk being the defenders over at the B bomb side. Scrunk got forced back behind the smoke out through mid, and Slacks was still trying to fight into the side. So HONORIS, they did a really good job of trying to split the CTs and pulling them apart. And well, that's what we need to see from the polls, a good early success on Dust 2.
There we go. Pistol. Favor of HONORIS. The rebuy from Ultimate Attacks will see these scouts in on 2 individuals. It was HONORIS. The last time they played against Ultimate Attacks, they got their T-side start, and it wasn't until the second half that Ultimate Attacks really were able to put the hurt on HONORIS. They still kept it relatively good. Being a 9-6 half, but it was off the back of the T-side where Ultimate Attacks really put that hurt in against HONORIS. So BT is going to get himself started here with the SMG of Meerbit. Deagle the Scrunk seeing Neo out there on the short position. Scope shot from Stefan is not quite landed. He's going to reface and try to do the damage. He's missing most of his bullets though. Does get Stomp in the end. So 4 versus 3 now. Scopes out as the Galils move in. So the Deagle of Cressy seeing Ryko unable to get his shot. Does get a tag down. They're falling bit by bit. HONORIS are falling, but Neo and Prism to recover.
Oh, Neo's so low, but so is Merbit. And it really comes down to whether the CTs can find any of these close quarter kills. And you've got to think now, Slacks, he's probably out of there, considering the fact he lost his teammate. He's picked up a scout, try and bring it into the next round, but that's going to be a very strong round conversion up for the HONORIS side. 2 in a row. It was expensive, it was close, but it still goes the way of the polls.
2-0. Alternate Attacks doing a decent amount of damage, and on their force buy round, unfortunately, it won't mean the world. If it was the eco, then sure, because the buy will be up next. But having the basic pistols out for the CT side. Count out for Slacks and the AK's in, the MAC-10 Ryko. A rifle for him? Can't quite tell. Does have a Galil. Okay, there you go. So HONORIS. Yeah, mostly rifles out for that T-side camp. Should be able to make light work of this anti-eco. Fast playing towards the B-bomb site. Only one player from Stefan there to defend against it. The MAC-10 is going to face a full jump forward. And the bomb plant should be secured. Ryko will try siphon off the rotating CTs from the A-bomb site. Indeed, 2 picks go his way, making it a 3K. And yeah, easy stuff coming in from the T-side.
And I'll tell you what, these B rushes have actually been very successful from HONORIS. I'm not sure whether we'll see them again now going into kind of the gun round style of play, but certainly we've seen it twice and they've been very successful in doing so. And Ryko in particular looking pretty strong on that Galil out through mid. 3 fantastic kills from him. But now they've got to deal with the double AWPs and well, they come out straight away, Jay. No messing around on the Sydney side.
Yeah, 3-0. Nice start. HONORIS. Of course, doing the damage in the half where you should expect them to do the damage for. The rifles get brought out for alternate attacks here. Double up set up early on here in this matchup. Just straight up and out. Dust 2, it can work pretty well for them. That placed out towards the long position and the mid areas. Stefan there at the B doors, ready to rotate back to defend the B-bomb site, but it looks like it might just be a mid play on from short. Possibly could allow some chances to make their way through the mid doors, but HONORIS playing pretty passively, so can't get a good beat on what exactly they're going to play for.
Alternate Attacks have got a little bit of aggression here coming out from Cressy, and I'll tell you what, if he goes any further forward, he'd be a dead man, considering the Prism's just around that door corner. And quite a slow round coming out from HONORIS. They've taken some mid control pretty easily. They've got short presence. They've got a lot of map control. the CT side holding on to still a lot of utility. A lot of the time after you get to a minute on the clock, you often see the CTs using a lot of it, but they've been able to hold on to 2 incendiaries and a lot of flashes for alternate attacks.
$40 seconds to the hit. Gonna make their way out there eventually. Warp still scoped in. Prism gonna put some utility out. Smokes and flashes over. The AWP of Stefan fires. Repeats back up. Sees 3 players out here. Gonna get a collateral? No, he just can't. Can't line it up. The M4 of Skrunk does get 1 and suppress a second player. Player also in mid, and Ryko reads me a bit. Response from Slacks will come through, but it's a 3 versus 2. Crest is way out of position. This probably is going to end up being a safe call here.
That's a really disappointing hold there coming out from Stefan. You know, in that position, it's so easy to find an opening kill just because it's so long range. And the fact that he doesn't find anything being at backplat with that AWP is just disappointing. It certainly could have been a much stronger hold if he was able to find 1 or 2 kills. And they relied on him, and unfortunately wasn't able to deliver the goods. So HONORIS are going to go up 4-0. They've hit the bomb site of B 3 times out of these past 4 rounds, and it certainly seems like a bit of a weakness for alternate attacks at the moment. They need a change up at this B site.
Kill for Crest, who does limit the economy state of HONORIS a little bit. I mean, they have built up quite the amount due to the eco round. The 4-0 now, the max loss bonus for alternate attacks. They'll half buy around the M4. These scouts in once again. Domp trying to get that first connection on a player crossing the mid doors. He can't quite land it, unfortunately. He'll spot 2 players crossing at least. And as the 2-1-2 split is in effect with the scout challenging and taking damage here. So alternate attacks, common positions. Onto the defensive for the most part here. The scout is in the most danger here as it's being challenged first.
And great damage being done onto both Slacks and Stefan, down quite low, around 20 points of health each. And Merbert is actually very aggressive out through Longhouse, and well, that's an opening kill, and that's going to force HONORIS pretty quickly into the A bomb site up through short. Slacks, can he find anything with this scout?
Oh, he does. Scoping against Stomp, can't quite land it. In the end, Taz does take him down. That's a 2-for-1 trade, and an Acre they can work with here. Do alternate attacks try this? Are they going to save their weapons, or they just push the pistols in? They're going to stack up to short. It looks like they're going to commit to this one. Neo going to try shut it down early. We'll see 2 players at least face in. Damage done by Skrunk. Neo goes falling. Taz at the end of the smoke takes Skrunk out. Looks for his second player, but Mirbit drops. It's all to Stomp now. 1-on-3. And alternate attacks off the back of an eco round could be in for Magic right now. Or in. Flicks up. Does not land the shot. Knows that Cressy's close. Takes him down. Stefan on site. Going to go for the defuse. A second kill against Mirbit, but he's still going for it. And Stomp misses his shots. That's forced him off, but just in time. That could have fallen to pieces if he wasn't careful. 5-0 for HONORIS as they just claim the next T-side round.
A big clutch coming out there from Stomp, and unfortunately no kit on that CT side. If Stefan had a kit, he would have been able to defuse that bomb in time. I don't know how that shot didn't hit, but Stomp is able to follow up onto the last, so 1 versus 3 attempt coming out. And for alternate attacks, that was very down to the wire, very close indeed. And HONORIS, that's going to be in the back of their mind to say, right, we can't let that happen again.
Incendiary is up, M4's out for Cressy, burning by quite the amount. They've got the info as well, alternate attacks. Orb shots connecting, looking on to the site. He sees the man, but is unable to get his shot. It's such a tight angle to hit, only a few pixels left. Ryko entering in from Longhouse, gets himself a frag, but is traded back by Mirbit. So 4v4, retake. Got to come through from the attack side. They've got kits, they've got utility. One thing they don't have is the man advantage. The nades up against Taz will tag him up a little bit, but alternate attacks, for the most part, they're just pretty much suppressed here.
Taz is so aggressive, and I really like the intent, you know, trying to see if they can force the issue by getting aggressive in the post plant. And for alternate attacks, you know, the round started off relatively decently, I would say. You know, they turn it into a 4-on-4, they set themselves up for a retake, but the retake just doesn't even come in. It just gets shut down. And HONORIS, you know, we spoke about maybe this momentum not carrying forward going into Dust 2. It certainly has, at least for the HONORIS side. They've looked very, very good. And I'm certainly seeing glimpses that have got a very much of a similarity to what they were able to perform like against Endpoint in the best of one earlier on, Jay.
The tactical finally coming out here for alternate attacks, and HONORIS doing unto the opposition what they did unto Endpoint earlier today. Much better by comparison to their first map, although I will say that in the last time they played alternate attacks on this map, they went 6-3 up before they did not score a single round against alternate attacks for the rest of that map. So right now they're on the verge of doing better than that, but they do have to secure a few more rounds on T side, ideally to get to 8. Nades on, sprays back from Raiko. Mirbit actually takes him down, so that's an opening kill for the CT side. Traded very quickly by Prism. 1 pistol out of 4 that will end up going down.
Pretty aggressive again coming out from alternate attacks. This time around over from the B bomb site, but Neo shutting it down, making sure that the CTs can't over-aggress any further. Man advantage, 4 on 3, and they can just play the numbers game. They can slow it right down, just get the cross smokes out for the CT position, try and see if they can cross into the A bomb site out from long. A very simple and standard stuff out for HONORIS.
Damage done to the T side. Again, they're going to do as much as they can here. Attacks, but Stomp will take out Cressy on the bomb site, leaving it all to Slacks here, just spamming his way with the Deagle, and none of those bullets will connect. I mean, him and Stefan might as well just try for something out here on the retake. They're going to rotate from short and long. I mean, they're not going to lose much in the grand scale of things. Neo. Oh, drop Stefan. So now Slacks is left alone here with a knife out. A Deagle still in play to get, again, 2 frags to limit the economy basis of the T side is going to be more than enough damage for him. But this will be 7 for HONORIS. As Neo shuts down the final frag, 3k to his name. The eco is over. The buy-up coming in for attacks.
Okay. Well, you've got to think now for HONORIS, they've just got so much momentum. And honestly, for attacks, just haven't really seen them get control at all. Even finding opening picks has honestly been certainly a difficult task. And I think Stefan's kind of called over the information. You know, I don't really want to hold on to that secondary orb. He certainly struggled with it in the past, especially on Dust 2. So now Skrunk's going to say, you know what, I'll have a bit of a go with it.
Orb in, good shot from Stomp, kicks things off. Stefan chimes back though, Prism responds all the same, and now the A site they're playing towards. Skrunk will take another kill here towards that mid position. The AWP scoped in for Slacks, drops Prism next. 3 versus 2, and Skrunk is still hunting for kills against the T site here. Stomp in the mid position is going to be the main concern, and Skrunk is going to rotate back to the B site just in case. It's a 3 on 2. I don't know that if they know where the bomb is. And HONORIS will slow down off the back of the passiveness.
This is the best chance yet for alternate attacks, but they need to make sure, Jay, that they're converting this 8th. Need to make sure that they're finding their first round. And HONORIS, I mean, look how slow it is. We have not really seen any movement in the last, like, 20, 25 seconds. They're just waiting for aggression. They're honestly waiting for an opportunity to bring it back into a 2-on-2.
Slacks looking on for Taz here. AK ready for the AWP, saw the head. Slack still wins the fight. Stomp, last man standing, 1 on 3. He's got the bomb on his back. I'm going to duck down, evade the AWP's position and try and look in for him instead. From the short stairs, this player back on the back of the bomb site, not so far as Goose. Pretty well protected from short, and Stomp's going to have to make his move in. The smoke will go down to ensure this player does not aggress forward of it. He may start to push forward anyway. He's got a smoke and a Molotov. 15 seconds to work with. Going now, sees the man, takes him down. This will be a bomb plant he can secure. Puts that smoke down towards that short position. But now, 2 more players to fend off. Nade on his position. M4 is going to be bolstered here. Mirbit moving in for a jump face. What's he going to do from here? How will Stomp deal with this? Scope in! Oh, no scope! Never mind on that! And 1 player left. He does not know where Mirbit is. Looking on a short. The M4 will swing back line. And Stomp Unfortunate scenes from the lone wolf for the Honoris camp, but up for a 4K clutch. If he got that, that would have been insane.
Well, he makes the round very expensive, and for alternate attacks, you know, if they hold on to 2 players staying alive, then they can recover double orbs, but that's not the case at all. It comes down into that one-on-one. Great duel coming out from Slacks, and that just comes down to Stomp, you know, not getting that information. Wasn't sure whether to take short or CT spawn. And attacks, like, it's a first in quite some time. It's the first in Dust 2. But they need to be able to find a response, and you've got to think the Honoris are going to be hot on their tail to find their 8th.
AK of Neo moving in towards the lower tunnels position. Going to check out the short position, trying to gain some sort of control. Nice nade from Scrog. Prism and Taz are going to feel the hurt for that one. CT still pretty aggressive here. Slacks is AWP hoping to catch off short control. We're going to hear these players in the mid position as they back off. Like a split in towards the the B bomb site, as you mentioned, from mid to B and from tunnels. They're suppressed towards tunnels though, and Honoris stalled a little bit on the execution here. It's got time. Can put a second wave of utility back out and try to go for the actual hit here. Scrunk and Stefan suppressed to the site, and Scrunk, no idea. Stefan drops that bomb regardless. Taz and the AWP seen. Drive-by headshot from the AK from Arsenal. Out here is going to go falling next. Mirbit on site also gets dealt with for a 3K on Taz. Cresty 5 HP. Slack suppressed in the same position. And Honoris will claim the bomb site. Alternate attacks will go for a save.
Oh, I just can't believe they lose that. They have 3 guys at B. They use so much counter utility to really make like the whole execution really awkward for Honoris. They couldn't really push out from the tunnels, and then they had a couple of players that were trying to make their way out for the mid to B, so they weren't sure, do we aggress, do we stand still, do we go back, what's going on? And it was like miscommunication from Honoris, but Taz just opens up that site. 3 massive kills. And for attacks, this is so damn disappointing. I'm honestly shell-shocked that they don't hold that B site take, considering the fact they had 3 players there. Man, oh man. What a difference in comparison to the first map. Well, T-side, seeing if they can get some early control out towards the long house. And for alternate attacks, they've at least put a couple of players there, seeing if they can at least find some opening duels. But for the T-side, it's back into the mid to B, and they've found so much map control around this mid position time and time again.
Definitely SMG into that mid phase. Flashbang over, gets Neo. Okay. That's a start. Where's the follow-up? Where do we go from here for the CT side? I mean, they've got rifles now on everybody as a result of that SMG pick. And a minute to the clock here. The T's are going to try and make their way out into mid-control, potentially towards that B-bomb site here.
A great advantage being found from Stefan to start things off. And you're right, they're going to go back into the mid to B. Oh, they're doing it silently. They're not throwing a smoke down. Stefan, oh, the timing. Does he check the right angle at the right time? They line up and he drops that bomb. Huge round coming out from Stefan. And well, this has all just been cleaned up. Stomp the last one left. And that's the attacks that we want to kind of see, Jay.
All in the timing, but a confident round nonetheless. AWP's recovered for free. They've got a free double AWP set up this time. AK is in as well across the 2 CTs that could save them. And alternate attacks. What a return from this CT camp. But again, the issue once again comes down to following it up. They have to follow suit with another good round. They were unable to do so in their first. Honoris, similar issues were coming through when they had them over on the likes of the first series they played. Will they be able to follow suit here and just be able to return? Very fast play coming out from the Mac 10. Look at the AK forcing forward. Flash completely blind. There's no idea he's here. Cressy gets Neo regardless. Mirbit struggling against Taz, but does line up that frag in the end. Damage done to Ryko and Stomp as well. All in all, alternate attacks come out on top.
That's just utter chaos. The flashbangs just made it so awkward for both sides. And Skrunk's now pushed in through the upper tunnels, so he can call out, right, there's nothing over at B. As soon as he goes down from T-spawn, he's going to be able to clear out mid. And for alternate attacks, yes, they've got slacks out through short, but they are allowed to have a gamble stack at this A bomb side off the back of just information alone. HONORIS, how do they bring this back? Now, they do have the utility at least to get the cross smokes down, but they won't know how many players are here towards this A bomb site.
Smokes down to that cross, Molotovs coming forward. Stephanie with the AK, blind spray. Slacks instead getting that kill on Prism. Incendiary Bat's going to force Ryko to make his way to the bomb site because he can't afford to sit there. 17 HP. Trying to find a way to get the bomb plant here, and they've still got Gandalf control. They still have a CT player, still have a short player, and one coming in for the backstab. They deal with the man at CT. Slacks drops that bomb though, completely blind through the smoke. Shrunk gets stomped in the back line, and alternate attacks now brimming with confidence here.
And it's good to see. It certainly seems as if the double AWPs are finding a fair bit of impact, and well, impact. Maybe you can get some nice skins over at our fantastic partners of Hellcase using a couple of codes on the screen. Malta V15 will give you a 15% refill bonus, and Malta V to get a little bit of a cash injection. And you know what? Who would really like a cash injection? Is this HONORIS side, Jay?
Oh yeah, they'd love it. Yeah, they had a pretty confident economy going into the previous, not last round, the round before.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, that has all gone to waste and gone to investment here. Alternate attacks have to face the wrath of a full-blown execution very early on here. Stefan's going to drop 1 and 2. They don't even need the AWP to support it. The P250 will get involved, but it's all Stefan and Mirbit there with the 2Ks between those two players. AWP does get recovered as well. So the CTs keep the double AWP setup in. The fast play from HONORIS does not get a bomb plant, does not get major damage. What they will get is a buy-up.
I have absolutely no idea why Skrunk is there with that AWP. Like, that is just the most unorthodox angle that an AWPer will ever hold at that B bomb side. If they're playing a B, you know, they'll play door, or they'll play window, or they'll play backside. Maybe he was expecting the B presence to be a lot slower, but knowing HONORIS and how quick some of their B plays are, it was a bit of a awkward challenge. But going into round number 13, look at the map control. And honestly, this has been a big part of the HONORIS camp, especially on this T-side of Dust 2, is how quickly they take map control at the moment, especially out towards either mid or short.
Smokes on. Very carefully played here from HONORIS. They put that first bit of utility out, but they're not going to go much further forward than this. But passive challenges in the mid control for alternate attacks. They realize that mid control is gained by the T's. Flashing. Taz. Flashing of his own right. Slacks is blinded off, but the utility coming in. Still looking for his flick, still looking for his shot. Connects nothing so far. Neo gets Cressy as the Goose player goes down, but the AWPs chime in on the crossfire. Slacks with 2, Skrunk with 1. Oh, the rescope does not land on Stomp, and Slacks surely can't afford another reface here. He's checking short as his teammate's going to keep his eyes on the Gandalf entrance. Finally, Slacks goes down, but incendiaries and nades. Neo trying to isolate Stefan. They're going to get forced away from the bomb site. The AWP reface is in. Stomp goes down next. All left in Neo. Does get that frag, but 2 more to find on 31 HP, and not looking the right way. Not at the right time, actually. Just barely gets away with a missed spray. The bomb needs to get picked up and planted, though, for Neo.
Now, this is a chance for Neo to at least get a bomb plant. I mean, one thing they've certainly got to keep an eye out for is this economy. It's not the strongest at the moment for the HONORIS camp. And Neo's going to see if he can try and win out this 1 versus 2. Playing it incredibly well to try and isolate some of these one-on-ones. And Stefan's so damn low. 19 HP. And the flashbang, well, it catches off Merbit, but he still takes down Neo. A 5th round now up for the attack side. And, well, they're getting a little bit of a streak going at the moment here, Jay.
Indeed they are. Took a bit of time to get started, but now they've got a good beat on what is going on. 8-5 on the board of the T side. They are still in quite a decent spot here. Double AWP set up the M4s, the AUG for Skrunk. AK's in for the T side. Prism straight out of the gate. Gonna just push first forward in at the pit position, duck down. Trying to establish that map control, that first kill, no. Slack's there to deny it, kicks things off for the CT side. A little bit of short control as well, sees the man at Goose. Taz got such a unique angle, but he can't capitalize on a headshot. Will force Slacks to peek away. And that might allow a chance of the long control, never mind. He's gonna peek and get that second kill. And the CTs are just decimating what HONORIS are throwing at them here. Raiko could find two, not going to be. Cressy trades it back. Neo desperate to get this headshot. He just can't seem to land it. And Slacks does end his life, and Taz left alone to 1 versus 3. Going to fall quickly after the fact.
And I'm really glad that alternate attacks have been able to clean up their game. It certainly seems like at the moment, the biggest weakness for the HONORIS side is dealing with these double orbs. They certainly just have not really been able to stop Slacks and Scrunk finding opening picks and unanswered trades. And going into even the last round of the first half, it's not really the best of buys from HONORIS. Lacking in so many bomb plants in recent rounds makes their economy just in shatters. Just even in terms of utility, not great. No LWP up for Stomp. He's going to be on a scout. A couple of Galils in the playing field. HONORIS. Can they at least secure a 9th and get a good advantage going into the second half?
Open Stefan. AK's out. Back on short as Cressy. It's to round this corner. Flash into allow the man a chance. Gonna drop that bomb. Look for Taz as well. Perfect. 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 Perfect from the T side. And Mirbit will try hold his own here. Stomp will get Cressy at least for a trade. Damage has been done to the CT forces, and they're still holding aggressive angles. Look at Mirbit's position. Neo has no idea. They will get the trade back, but a 3 versus 2 scenario.
And that flash into short was just so well timed onto Cressy. And finding that bomb, you know, taking the second player down of Taz, doing so much work. And now holding on to the advantage. They've got a 3-on-2. They've still got the double AWPs in play. And alternate attacks have got a pretty heavy setup to this B bomb site. Actually might not be the worst setup in the world, because HONORIS, they're trying to go to B.
Indeed they are. AWP in, does not see anything. Sees the header. Prism lands that wallbang perfectly, and Scrunk closes down Stomp. So 8-7 goes on the board. T-side advantage, sure, but very similar to the way things went down on Dust 2 in the last time these two teams played it. Again, I'm making all the comparisons to that map, but it is true. Yeah. It was HONORIS with the early advantage before alternate attacks got started, and they weren't able to score a single round after that. Is this going to be a case in which alternate attacks continue the rest of this matchup without letting them score a single round on CT's side? They've already gotten 6 in a row. It will have to be, 9 more in a row for alternate attacks to make that a reality.
Certainly, the streaks looked really good. We've seen, 6 rounds in a row from alternate attacks in the back end of that first half, and it's at least giving them a bit of confidence to say, you know what, we're still in this game. We can still make this work. And let's see what we find out of the pistol round. Very similar to what Endpoint tried to do on the T side of Dust 2, just a straight long commitment.
USP is coming in. Stomp going to try hold his own here. The smokes go down. Neo gets that first frag. Stomp going to try hold his own. Again, this same crossfire they used against Endpoint, it works so well as Neo drops another good pick, including that bomb 5 versus 3. Cressy and Mirbit do take those 2 players down, but there's 2 more CTs here from the CT spawn, and 1 up on the bomb site here. Right in the flashbang, making his way up, seeing 2 players out, tapped up. Mirbit takes him back, and unlike Endpoint, alternate attacks are able to overwhelm the A site defense.
And they get a bomb plant. They've got that man advantage. They've got information of at least where the player is out towards short. Good shot coming out from Prism as he finds 3 massive kills out from short. And well, you don't even need Neo. What a retake coming out from Prism. And I'll tell you what, we haven't really seen the greatest of individual plays coming out from him over the course of this series, but that was one. The odds at loot bet, little bit now closer between these two sides. 1.78 for the alternate attacks, now 1.86. It's just in favor of the HONORIS side.
Well, CT is just barely holding control of that one. Alternate attacks felt like for a moment there they were going to do some damage. Onto the eco around here. The Deagle's out for the T-side camp. No Kevlar, no utility. It's going in for Stomp. We're going to look for that first player out from Suicide, but will not catch him out. Have to fall back as well. Good shot against Scrunk. Again, doing the tag damage. M4 knows he's low, so he's going to try to find and isolate that kill, but all in all, the trades on HP have been pretty even for both sides here. Mid control established by the T's, but Prism finally finds that opener.
A good start coming out for the HONORIS camp, doing a hell of a lot of damage out through mid. And for alternate attacks, you know, it's not a complete force buy, it's just a couple of upgrades, so really, they're not expected to find too much here. Okay, 4-4, this is still very doable. If they take down Stomp, considering how low he is, this round could be certainly very doable for alternate attacks.
Problem is Stomp's held back to the B bomb site here, back at the plat position. Skronk got to be ready for this player to be out here. They
Difficult
know
shot.
he's low. Will they? And yeah, it is a difficult shot from that kind of a range, especially for a pistol, regardless of being a deagle. And there it is. Stomp taking out Skronk for one frag. A headshot on Stefan. Not quite the third frag, but he does get slacks in the end, doing tons of damage in this round, getting all the picks he needs. And the USP will close it out. A beautiful sequence there from Stomp to get the B-side defensive in. They do shut down the eco round. Now the rifles coming in from alternate attacks. That's what poses the real threat here.
That's just really great shooting coming out from Stomp, and realizing the fact, you know, especially when you're up against Eagles, it's a very long range engagement. You've got a huge advantage with a scoped weapon, and really just pops up one by one, getting and kill after kill, just annihilating the T side off the back of that scout. Some really great shooting coming out from Stomp. And with HONORIS, they are now up to double digits, but look at Cressy. Oh, we didn't realize there was a player right behind him, but he does strike onto the first. The trades come out so chaotic once again out from this long face. And the T side, well, they're winning out a lot of these fights.
Stomp trying to climb back in, hold presence over Dominion, but it's Slacks to shut him down. Prism left alone, 1 versus 3. The fuse in, Incendiary and Flash down with the CT camp. Slacks, Mirbit, Stefan, all making their way in from long. This one player with such a heavy weight on his shoulders, and I don't think he can handle it given the circumstances here. Swarm, great USP shots on the pistol round. Now the M4 needs to do the same. Seeing 2 heads, can't connect on towards them, and he gets taken out by Mirbit in the end. So 8 to the board of alternate attacks. They let it slip for a moment, but now we're back in control.
And we could honestly be tied up here. I mean, HONORIS, they don't have a lot of money, so it's going to be a very light investment to get the rifles up into round 20. And we go closer. And you've got to think for the HONORIS camp, the pressure's probably starting to build. They were up, what, 8-1 at one point? They've certainly let this lead slip. They won the pistol round. They got a great start off on CT's side. Now the pressure's back on them because, Jay, they didn't win the first map of alternate attacks' map pick. It comes down to this, that if alternate attacks win Dust 2, they're going to go 2-0 up and advance into the playoffs.
Nades up and over here for the T side. Players out here for the CT, stacking towards that mid position. Stefan and Slacks get those 2 picks. Slacks gets himself a kill of his own right. Skronk gets involved, and Cressy closes out with the frag for his own accord. So there you go, nice and simple there from alternate attacks. Against the eco, the rebuy coming in is the main threat here for HONORIS. AWP in the Stomp. M4s. A FAMAS for Taz is going to leave him with the utility play here, so they are limited in some aspects.
They certainly are at least limited in a little bit, but at least this is a pretty good buy, and this is a chance for HONORIS to, you know, regain that momentum, get back into putting up some good rounds. Certainly keep an eye out for this AWP of Stomp. And I tell you what, they've had a lot of success out for the T side. Very quick aggression out through long. They've done it again, and they're doing it this time around. But look at the change up. The protocol has changed for HONORIS. Rather than trying to take the fight and try and win out Angels, they just back off and they give the T's longhouse control.
Yeah, don't want to lose the round off the basis of that. Obviously, the last rifle round went so wrong for them because they just got picked apart by the longhouse aggression. Prism moving in, Skronk with the AK, ready for the headshot. Will Prism expect this? Will he duck down below? 2 players to find, bring down the timing. Headshot taken, Taz can find a response. So 4 versus 4, no man advantage game by the T side.
And you've got to think for HONORIS now, they're really running low on utility. So are alternate attacks, and they're actually going to back off and maybe try and make their way over to the B-bomb site. It actually wouldn't be a bad option because they're only running a single defender, and it's Taz with the M4. If he gets taken down, this could be an instant save because the rotates are so far away from B at the moment.
Taz sitting here in the back line. Only player to defend it. Flashbang, if he can get a good couple of kills, he might have the retake, but Slack's having none of that. Shuts him down immediately. CT's getting out of dodge. They're done. they're out. M4 AWPs, or AWP and M4s, I should be more specific. HONORIS have no choice but to save because that is a lot of damage they have to account for here, and it just makes sense not to bother with it. So grab their weapons, concede the point, and we go to evens for alternate attacks. We called it at the start of the game, mentioning it's probably going to be a brawl, but we were expecting HONORIS to be the ones in control, and right now, alternate attacks could be up for that 2-0.
And, I mean, you could tell instantly that was going to be an instant save if Taz didn't find anything. He needed to find a couple of kills. One would have maybe even still resulted in the save call. Two, they certainly would have gone for it. But that's the thing with Dust 2 is that it's such a difficult site to retake, especially when you're so out of position that where HONORIS were, not even close to rotating in. Now, they do hold on to 3 players. So at least they're able to establish a buy going into the next. And just think that alternate attacks, they lose this round, they can still buy. HONORIS, they lose it, they can't buy. So we could be seeing a 12-10 scoreline for alternate attacks.
One player there to defend the long house for HONORIS, and he's going to be quite the element. A bomb on the back of Skrunk. He's got to make his way in from long unless he wants to make his risky rotation in from mid. A lot of mid presence for the CT side. Short control for He has no idea. Did not check that cubby, and that starts things off for the T side.
And that's just misinformation because Storm's holding that angle with the orb, but considering the flames, it obstructs his vision, and he can't call out that someone may or may not have crossed. Prism, he's got to have a massive hold. He's got to find at least a couple of kills to try and bring this back. He finds one. Oh, and he finds 2. This is huge. And Prism, and now Stomp's chiming into the action. What a shutdown out from long. And alternate attacks after finding the opening man advantage. Doesn't look like they're going to be able to bring this round back.
Wow. What a sequence from the SMG and the AWP. And from here, it falls to pieces. Such a good start as well, with a big mistake made by Raiko. Stefan there to punish it and everything. Now his teammates are gone. His bomb's in HONORIS control. They take the lead back from alternate attacks, but I did mention that Prism had to step up big time to hold the defense, and he did. Oh, he did. Watch this again.
Huge.
And then it was this follow-up kill, man. Like, yeah. Stomp couldn't have timed that more perfectly.
And absolutely, I mean, the attention's drawn away to the SMG. Stomp peeks in. It's an easy kill with that orb. And that was just, you know, a really great bait and switch setup. Great hold coming out from Prism. And what was necessary, it was absolutely vital. And challenge out towards long. Great nade damage onto Merbert. Down to just 53 points of health. Not really too much of a challenge at the moment from the City side.
Neo's going to try Gress, and Mirbit's ready for it. Good kill. And immediately vacating this position as well. We're going to fall back more passive to the longhouse control. Not going to fall out of longhouse just yet. Stomp, incendiary back here. Molotov's coming in. AK out, and Raiko shuts down the first. AWP can't respond. M4 running out of ammo there. Stefan will deal with him. 4 versus 2. Prism and Taz now to rotate out and concede another fast execution coming in from alternate attacks, and they're going to make HONORIS pay for it.
That was a split-second decision, so hats off to Skrunk with that call because they had a couple of options there. The Molotov came down to the short position and then stomped through another molly, so they've either got to make a choice, right? We back off and we give them the short control that we've just fought to take and we play passive, or we just try and fight and we try just push our way through. And they decide to go aggressive. The flashes come out, they get some really nice entries. Yes, the incendiary does a hell of a lot of damage to the T side, but they win out the duels, they get that 4-2 advantage. And Prism and Taz, they just have to go for the save. And just when you think HONORIS win out a beautiful round, it goes right back the way of the Germans.
11 all. This winners contest has been quite a close affair. Especially here in his second map, alternate attacks still hunting their 2-0, and they may look to get it soon. Got to overwhelm the CTs in a confident fashion. They'll establish their long control. The mid presence from Stomp will be contested by the majority of the T-side forces. SMG will make his way in from short to try and on a position as well. M4 of Neo gets tagged up. Taz does a little bit of return damage, but not much here.
Oh, they've pushed so aggressively up through long, and HONORIS have got no idea about this presence. All it takes is a single flashbang, and they're going to swing with it. This could be a massive opportunity for the T-side to find some great openings, especially with how low Neo is on the side. Oh, and the timing. No one's really checking the angle. Taz, he goes down. Scrunk, 1-for-1. And Merbert, he needs to trade, and well, this has got to be a save now from HONORIS. It's got to be a save. They don't have any money. It's a 4-on-3. Raiko's got to come up absolutely massive.
A wallbang shot from Slacks. Got it straight through the box. Raiko, last man standing on the site. His teammates are very far away from this. Molotov in, Cressy also pressing forward. Stom does catch off one towards Cross. Raiko's going to get two. Cressy on the backstab will drop two of his own, but he's on for a 3K. Raiko for his 4. Smoke down towards the Cross, getting out towards long. Bomb is in his vision. He knows exactly where Cressy is. He can only come from one side. He has to go from short now. The Molotov will give up his position from here. Raiko knows where to aim, how to challenge. AK's got to get this headshot in. 20 seconds to the clock. Smoke down, looking for the bomb. Spray is going to go better for Raiko, and the AWP to support, but 4 kills for the M4, and HONORIS are clinging onto their lead for dear life.
And how was Raiko not traded? Cressy does such a great job. If they just would have taken Raiko down on the site, then Cressy wins that round. You know, he takes down the 2 B players on the lurk, but Raiko does not get traded. And that is just simple mechanics not going the way of the attack side. Oh, man. The only way they win that round is if Raiko gets both the kills, and that's exactly what he did. Huge, absolutely massive, and alternate attacks, well, they're fast out through mid. Skrunk's been able to find a lot of opening kills. Look at the damage he does onto Taz, and well, Cressy, he hasn't even taken Taz down. It's Prism.
Frag found, flash around the corner against Taz. He's solo HP. Skrunk swings in from mid, does fall to Neo in the SMG. But Mirbit's there to backstab. That was the mid position, so they all drop. 4 versus 2. HONORIS again back for the save. And alternate attacks. Well, they will lose a second player in that exchange, but all in all, these back and forth rounds have just kept us going right in. You know, they started 11-11, and they've gone round per round. 12 all for the attack side, as they do not let HONORIS go so far as to maintain and extend the lead.
Okay. I'm thinking of this as like a psychological point of view, and I've been happy with the rounds from HONORIS when they win, but it seems like they just don't have, I don't know what it is, but they don't have the momentum to get more than 1 rounds in a row. They're being very singular at the moment. They're not finding the follow-ups, and that's what's really worrying for me, is the fact of alternate attacks lose a round. Oh, you know, great, you know, HONORIS, they're back in the lead, but then it just gets taken away from them immediately. And you've got to think, now looking at the money line, they've got a tough call to make. Do they force up the back of this AWP and M4 to try and regain the lead, or do they completely eco with just USPs?
The money has slowly but surely waned over the course of time. Tactical pause for HONORIS to figure this out. I'm happy to report, by the way, Dweg, that the elimination match has ended.
Okay.
It's gone 2-0 for Endpoint. So the loser of this game will be taking on Endpoint, and I'll decide a match a little bit later on after this match has ended, of course. Rematch opportunity for HONORIS if they're able to go that far, but AK's AWPs in, M4 and AWP for the 2 players that say for HONORIS, and it looks like it's going to be USPs across the rest of the board. CZ bought by Taz last second. Orb scoping in. Stomp's going to see the first couple of players, and Stomp actually finds the first frag.
Not bad at all. Oh no, don't tell me this is the round that alternate attacks lose. They've gone down to the AWP and the M4, trying to get rid of those AKs that have already been dropped down. Please, alternate attacks, bring this back. You've got to lurk out for Merba out through long. I don't know. Okay, he's certainly been spotted now. But the fact is, don't give up any more advantages. You need to close this out. You've got the advantage in terms of weaponry.
AK forcing forward. Prism's going to be heard here. He's going to call it out to his teammates. Flashes from the CT side will keep me a bit blind. The AWP firing away as the AK faces. Ryko takes him down. They stacked in towards A. Attacks committed to A. 2 players left. One good flick from Stefan does get Neo. He needs Cressy to come up huge here from short. He is going to be the main man. The flashbang over through the smoke, spotted by Ryko at the edge, over at the short position. And this will be the round that alternate attacks do lose. HONORIS continuing to defend their lead through everything that is thrown at them. And the AWP left alone has got to save.
And they can just pick up so many AKs. Man, this is so disappointing. This is really... To think that this honestly could be the turning point for attacks. Like, I was looking at this thinking, okay, like, you know, 13 to 12, they'll go up. They go into the gun round, they win that. You pretty much say that there's a 2-0 for attacks, but not anymore. Stefan is trying to save onto this AWP. If they take him down, they can run double AWPs on City side. Oh, well, he heard the footsteps, tried to adjust. They're not going to pick up that AWP, actually, Jay. They don't want it. They don't want to run double AWPs.
Curious decision.
Well, well, well.
Guess they're ready for alternate attacks on the MAC-10s.
Watch them hit B quick as well.
Yeah,
like, they certainly can, considering it's MAC-10s.
The spawn positions are perfect for it. 4 players out here. And Molotov's in tonight from Taz. Flashbang over. They're still going to commit. Taz is left alone. AK spray, awkward, flashed out, keeps him blind. Cressy gets that kill. And HONORIS will fire their way blind on towards it. They stacked in the A long presence. Is this going to be a save call?
It has to be. It has to be. Like, you can't go for this. You just can't. It's too difficult to retake B in a man disadvantage. There's no way. Yeah, they're out of there. Not even thinking about the retake. Man. I always say, when you get shut down and when things aren't working, the rush B, it always works. It is always the strat that brings it back. If you have got a good rush B protocol in terms of the flashes, the crossfires being a set, you can just overwhelm a lot of the time the single defender at B. And well, that's what happened. For HONORIS, they weren't playing 2 at B. It was just Taz. He gets taken down, instant save call.
How have they done it again?
We ask this question like on a weekly basis, on a daily basis, I would say. Honestly, it happens so often, man.
Online CS. 13-all. 13-all. Once again, alternate attacks responding to the eco of HONORIS with the buyback of their own right, a fast execution, a rush B strat that still worked. And we stand at evens with, again, the investment from HONORIS. We'll see at least a decent amount of money here. Both economies looking relatively similar. But all down to the fact that they save 4 rifles here. So they're keeping all the weapons in check for attacks, keeping a majority of them in for HONORIS. The mid control established. The AWP will look for its first kill. Force out the flashbang. The AK spray is going to go wrong, and Stomp starts things off.
And, well, that really should have been a kill. There should have been no way that Stomp is actually able to win out that fight, considering he's repositioning. And that's not the best of starts coming out for the German side. Losing that opening man advantage, they might try and see if they can bait Stomp into another aggressive peak. If they can, they'll be ready for him. Oh, they're just going to try and peek him again. Oh,
out, wrong timing there for Prism. 4 versus 4. Smokes down as the T's try and make their way up. Skrunk dead with the AK will lead the charge in. They've only got Neo here to the bomb site. Gonna have to call in rotations from CT spawn. Get Skrunk for his first frag. Looks on for the second man. Up Pierce. Slacks will take him down. And Ryko conceding to 3 versus 3. The bomb plant should get secured here. Retake up for HONORIS.
And, well, they've still got a smoke on the back of Slacks. I think he used that over towards a short position, and that's going to help them regain control. Stefan's got very deep short control, but for HONORIS, they're not worried about short. They're all coming up through CT, and they need to be landing some really great shots. Merbit could shut this all down. Slacks into the action, 1-for-1, and that's all down to Stomp, 14-13. Oh my goodness, what a round from alternate attacks, and it's off the back of losing the opening man advantage to the AWP Stomp.
The money of HONORIS just about comes together to see the buy. AWP M4s in, AKs, MAC-10, the AWP for Slacks. But this will be their last chance. And the first shot landed by Stomp. Good kill against Merbit. Rifle dropped here for the attacks camp. The MAC-10 will move in, try and catch off Neo. Lack of head Kevlar could still see this MAC-10 do some damage here. The Molotov's in, it's going to push forward against the likes of Scrunch. Seam at the edge. That smoke trade does come back from Stefan, but 2-for-1. All in all, favor to the CT camp. The Deagle Taz is here towards B. Riker's moving in the back line. Going to see that AWP. Did he see the bomb as well with it? Well, Starfin will get Prism next up. Taz in the back, taken out. Riker drops Slacks to 2 versus 2. That's the bomb in window as well. Someone's got to flash in. Stefan's got to get his man off angle. The Molotov out. Flashbang coming over now. Riker's going to evade it. They're going to push forward. AWP spotted. Cressy and Stefan get traded back 1 versus 1.
Oh,
AWP's now got Stefan. He's completely trapped in a corner. He's looking for his ace. Shot missed from Stomp. Stefan's going to try and get back. No utility. He's got to try and force this AWP to make a mistake. He's got 45 seconds.
Oh!
But Stomp with the flick keeps HONORIS in the game. 14 all. We go the full 30 distance.
And honestly, you can't really blame Stefan. Like, he can't do anything. That bomb gets dropped in the most awkward position, and he has to try and bait him out somehow. Oh my goodness. And you think for HONORIS, after such a big round victory, the buy, it's not great, Jay. They've got an MP9, they've got a FAMAS, 2 M4s and an AWP. No kits on this CT side, and it's fast out from long. Look at the utility coming out. Neo, he should get taken down. He's so blind.
The AWP is Stomp here to Carr, though. He responds against Scrunk.
Oh, what? How did this happen?
Cressy. They've pushed through the vent. They pushed, sorry, the tunnels, I should say. B-side's open right now. Alternate attacks, considering a rotation. As HONORIS, they've stacked on A. They're going to save or defend, and it looks like it will be saved because the attacks are going to the B side.
Well, they know now. As soon as Cressy takes down the single B defender, they go, right, well, they're probably going to go B. We have to save. We can't do anything. We can't retake this. We've got no money to work with. And, yeah, this should be an instant save coming out for the HONORIS camp, unless they can somehow find something. But as soon as that door gets smoked off, yeah, they're out of there. That's going to be a 15th up for the attack side. And like we said that this map was going to be down to the wire. I didn't think it would be like this. It is back and forward. CT rounds, T rounds, CT rounds. And we go to round 30, Jay, with alternate attacks on map and series point, playoff point at the moment.
HONORIS fighting for overtime in survival, but the number of rounds we've seen between these two teams go back and forth.
I just don't know what happened there with Prism. Like, he just pushed right through the smoke, and Cressy was like, hang on a minute, there's someone right here.
Well, mistakes were what cost HONORIS the round. You can't deny that.
Look at the money, Jay.
Wreckage across the CT board. Neo and Prism are going to have a really hard time. Taz better drop something for them. At least the UMP. FAMAS coming in instead. That makes sense. And again, that kill, that response, but it was, hold on, this frag that won it. And again, as you mentioned, the money so wrecked for HONORIS, therefore this buy should look rough. Storm starts things off on Scrunk though. That's a headshot to find the AWP down from mid. And Merbit Again, covering fire for his teammates to make their way up. Fast playing towards long this time. They've only got the FAMAS Neo to hold off. They have got a man advantage. This will be a 4 versus 4 if he gets overwhelmed. That's assuming he doesn't throw up a defensive. Here towards Goose. Flashbangs out. Molotovs coming in from the CT camp. Neo's right there, waiting for a chance, waiting for an angle. Going to sneak forward here. He's going to get scene spray. He's going to go awkward. He connects one, but only one. Cressy finds the trade. Meerbit finds one of his own. Stomp can respond with the AWP. Jump facing, looking for his Kelly shot towards the shoulder of the next man, but no, Slacks takes him down. 2-on-2, HONORIS moving into the bomb site here. Both players out, Cressy falls, Slacks is left alone for his 3K. Flash in, he's out in the midst of the smoke. Will try and fall back here, taking damage, taking death. HONORIS go to overtime.
Here we go. We've seen OT so far today. A little bit earlier on in Group C for Budapest 5 and LDLC on Train in the last map of the series. This time around, it's map number 2, and we're going to OT for HONORIS to keep their hopes alive. Oh, man. Oh, that's unreal. What a retake coming out in the city side. And it all started off with Stomp, 30 kills and 15 deaths. He is the only impactful player at the moment for this HONORIS side. He's keeping them in the game in this point.
The kill disparity is just so far gone from that camp. I mean, credit for getting a 30 bomb for Stomp. Like, he's doing fantastic for it, but ideally, Neo, Ryko, Prism, get a bit more out of those guys. But either way, it is a clutch defensive on a retake coming in from Ryko and Prism in particular. The two unknowns, if you will. Not fully unknown, but certainly less known than some of the other players on this lineup. The ones there to make the play happen and get them to this position here in OT. Alternate attacks. Surely got to be kicking themselves off the back of that there. They let that first pick go, and then it was from there that everything just kind of fell out of control.
Yeah, absolutely. They can probably be a little bit disappointed that they didn't close it out. They certainly had the better buy, but unfortunately, it's the fact of, you know, Stomp, he finds that opening pick. Neo does a great job with the FAMAS at the site, and, well, the retake comes in, hugely successful. And when we go to OT, and you've got to think, like, for HONORIS, yeah, you know, Stomp's putting up a pretty good performance, but I would say in the majority of these gun rounds, you know, alternate attacks have been able to find the edge over HONORIS, and going into OT, I need to see someone else from this Polish side step up, whether it's Ryko, whether it's Neo, doesn't matter who it is, but someone needs to be able there to back up Stomp. He can't do it all on his own.
When this OT is ready, we will get started with it. But for now, we just wait. Appropriately so. You must imagine there must be tactical discussions going on between these two teams right now, because they are fresh out of ideas. I feel like, you know, they've just done so much. They pull out their entire playbooks against each other in that map up and gone to overtime, which again is pretty respectable for HONORIS, considering last time it was a 16-6 result for alternate attacks. And again, considering the first map, which was what, 16-7.
Yeah.
HONORIS have done quite the amount to get back to this position. So, you know, overtime is on the table. They still have a chance to take us to a third map, because again, this is just the second map with attacks being up. Got to fight for Train, got to fight for survival at this stage.
And certainly going into OT on Dust 2, I mean, Dust 2 is one of the maps that is, you know, at least in terms of utility, not very tactically heavy, I would say. Like, you kind of just see the same default over and over again. And going into OT, I certainly expect that we'll see very similar playstyles from both sides. We'll see, you know, like you said, most of the strat book being pulled out, and you sometimes see similarities just over and over again. You know, maybe you get a few deviations here or there in terms of positionings, but in terms of the defaults, it's pretty much the same every time. And, well, hopefully, getting into overtime pretty quickly. MR3, 16k. So at least for the attack side, I can pretty much say that they're going to go for double orbs every round on CT. And, well, I wasn't sure if HONORIS were going to pull it out, but it looks like they have.
MR3 16k is the rule set we play by here. The double orb setup will come through from Stomp and Neo with no worries to their board. They will look on for the opening kills here against Slacks. Nades and flashes over Stomp, expecting the teams to make their way forward, and indeed they will. Second player there on the B position. Not seeing the AWP as Slacks is covered off. The bomb passed over, he saw that for certain. Shot rattles off as the AWP is going to be forced back to the CT spawn, smoked away, so we can't defend the mid to beast press.
HONORIS doing a really great job of at least not allowing map control to be taken deep out through mid. And ATTAX still kind of defaulting at the moment, not really sure what they want to achieve. Now, with Neo swinging out with Ryko from long, that gives away the information that it's not quite an A play. It could potentially be up through short, but nothing has been seen out through long. Oh, I like it.
Ryko, look at this. He could catch off the player up top mid.
Oh, Merbit. There's no way he
not
expects
looking
Merbit.
his way. Unless the back's turned, he heard the footsteps. Merbit opens things up. AWP of Neo flicks back on Scrunk as Merbit does end up falling in the mid position. 4 versus 3. And the bomb on the back of Stefan is facing. He knows that AWP is there somewhere. The smoke will buy a bit of cover. They'll look for a bomb plant and a retake.
And this is going to be a really difficult hold coming out for the attack side. Yes, they're going to be able to get a bomb plant through, but it's going to be a 3-on-4 and pretty much no utility to use on the post-plant position. Even the boost coming out from Stomp. Great shot coming out, and he's going to find his second kill of the round. Still trying to make their way in through short. Stefan needs to try and shut this down, and he's got a big job to do. And now it's all down to Slacks. This is going to be a difficult clutch, but he's got the information of where the short players are. Oh, he finds just 1 kill, no more than that. And well, that's going to be a round going to the HONORIS side. A great retake coming through.
Lead regained by HONORIS. I thought once they lost it, it would have been map over, but no. Alternate attacks back on the back foot here for OT. At least they can keep buying and keep executing and keep going for their T-side plays. Not so far as a bomb plant, but nothing more than that here. The AWP for Stomp and Neo. M4 for Ryko. AK is for Prism and Taz, so they have a little bit extra firepower to deal with the head Kevlar. Flashbangs into Longhouse contention. Again, alternate attack's going to take this part of the map. The AWP of Neo will sneak in from mid. Will not catch the player that was there, and Slacks can tag him up a little bit as a result. 30 HP for him, but it's Ryko that gets the opening frag.
And this is looking, you know, really dominant at the moment from HONORIS and OT. They find the first round. They've found the opening pick. Yes, Neo's down low, but a lot of the time it comes that man advantage. Where do attacks go from here? How do they even strike? They're certainly worried about maybe Ryko getting aggressive out through long. He did it in the last round. Doesn't look like he's quite going to try the same setup again, but it's certainly on the back of their minds.
Minute to go here. Neo make his way over to B alongside Prism. We're going to see those smokes coming out, and they're looking like they want to commit for a split here. The flashes into the mid position. It's Taz, top of the boost box, and the Molotov will force him off position. He'll put an incendiary back, and Neo with his AWP forced to reload, scope in. That flashbang's going to be completely evaded by the man. He does get Cressy to 5 versus 3. Stefan will take him down. Taz can respond to Scrunk in the mid position. We'll look for these 2 players out here from tunnels. Bomb gets dropped. 1 versus 4 as Stefan gets himself only 1 pick. And Prism will find a trade.
Well, okay. HONORIS, 2 rounds in a row in OT, playing with a lot of confidence at the moment. And, well, it certainly seems like Stomp doesn't have to quite do everything. Didn't find a single kill in that last round. It was just shut down once the B play came out. Great crossfires being established with the anchor on the site and the mid player. And attacks, I mean, it's vital for them that at least they get 1 round on T, at minimum. I mean, that's all that they can get, but to go 3-0 up for the HONORIS side in the first half would be just, like, almost a ticket to the 3rd map.
The CT side holding its own. Alternate attacks need to get a buffer round, a survival round here at this stage. As you mentioned, if HONORIS get to 18, it will basically be over from there, and we'll see that third map coming through. Right, go in. Scrunk takes him down. Taking a bit of damage for his own right here. The smokes will come up and they'll try and stop wherever they can. One player crossing, AWP focus fire, but does not get the player there in the mid position here. Scope out, knowing that Prism's out. They're going to evade the flashbang, or at least do his best to do so. Force back, Prism's right there, but no shots connect against him. They're doing their best to get these kills, but nothing going in the way of alternate attacks.
And they're going to split into the B bomb site once again. This is the same setup that we really saw in the last round. A bit of a deviation, and Prism, oh, does he try and fight? Looks like he wants to play passive. Unfortunately, Stomp's alone at B, and if he gets taken down, that bomb site's going to get opened up.
Oh, Stomp dealing with Slag. Stefan hears him coming forward. AWP going to get forced out position. His back's turned to the player here from Tunnels. Cressy drops him. Bomb needs to get to the site now. Needs to get planted, and it is there. The Orb watching Cross. Taz coming in from the Tunnels area. Cressy going to hear these footsteps ready and raring to receive, and does take the last man down. It's all left to Neo. 1 versus 3. Orb gets swapped out to a regular rifle here. Drops somewhere to the mid position. Actually, another AWP, so never mind on that front. For the retake, Molotov in, all forced the player forward here to the smoke. Cressy on 15 points of health, but it's the other two they have to worry about here. Looking on, taps up, Cressy has his angle. Good shot from Neo. Does not go further than that. 16 to alternate attacks. They do find themselves within 1 of HONORIS, keeping that all-important map point away from the CT camp, so they can't turn us to a third map at this stage.
And I would say a lot of the time, especially on a map like Dust 2 in overtime, it really comes down to who's got the better CT side is going to come away with the victory. We've certainly seen, you know, the double AWPs having a lot of impact for HONORIS in that first half. We'll probably see the same coming out for the Germans. Slack straight away going for the investment, and Stefan. HONORIS. They'll be looking for 19, Jay. 19, whoever gets it, will take this map. 18-18, and we'll go to overtime number 2. So 1 round for them is at least a guarantee that we get to overtime number 2.
Smoke out, or for Slacks gets Prism, starts things off for alternate attacks. Flashing against him will force him off angle. Could not get the kill on Ryko. He prematurely fired for that one, but being blind did not have the info to work with. HONORIS will gain that short control, but not a single point of damage done to alternate attacks. They've been pretty fantastic in getting these opening frags. Can they keep it going to a second follow-up?
I really like the intent coming out from HONORIS. It's a quick short smoke to try and get some early presence in, but Slacks, with the AWP, finds the opener, does not get traded, and is able to fall back. Good shot coming out from Stomp, and that brings it back into a 4-on-4. I say that, and Slacks, it seems like the AWPs are finding all the pickings at the moment.
And they're going to boost that AWP up from Stomp as a result. They know that he could potentially turn the tide of this round back to their favor. Neo in from Tunnels, jump facing. AWP sees him, and Stefan adjusts straight to the head. Neo's brain matter splattered all over the back wall. And Stomp and Taz, the last 2 players left here on shore. HONORIS need to find some sort of way back into this round. They're going to hear the footsteps. Mibit knows that they're going towards B. He's going to be the primary rotator, though. They're going to have to rest it on the AWP here for Stefan. 2 players to find. Smokes will go down, buy him a bit of cover. He'll fire away, get back behind the big box. Flying for the smoke, though. Taz goes down. Stomp, last man left. 17 seconds. CTs are on their way back. And the AWP repositions himself, trying to get out of dodge. All down to timing and positioning. Good kill from Stomp, and Stefan returns. 3 kills to his name, and it was the AWPs of the CT side that did all the work.
Okay, well, like you said, it was the AWPs on the City side. They found all the impact. And, well, Stomp, you know, he's doing a lot at the moment. He is doing a hell of a lot. 35 kills from him. This shot's a scrunk so damn quick. But, I mean, it's just not enough. It really is not enough at that point. Great couple of shots coming out from Stefan. And 17-17, we're tied up. And you've got to think for HONORIS, what's the play here? They've gone for some early contact in the last round to find the opening kill. Oh, look at the aggression from Merbert.
He's so ready for this. Taz is around this corner though, he could be also ready the same. Flashbang over, he jump faces, spray through from the M4, he's sandwiched. There's players coming in from lower and Raiko will shut a kill right back. So 4 on 4. The flashbangs in from Stefan could potentially buy another way back into the mid area. Scope in as nades go back, flashbangs over, the reface from Stefan. He's desperately looking for Stomp here, but he won't give up the position. So just mid control established for HONORIS and continue to press up towards the doors area.
And ATTAX are actually playing this round relatively cautiously and really passive, considering the fact that they had such an aggressive play from Merbit early on, giving a lot of map control away to the T side. Now, unfortunately for Slacks, he's kind of alone in this A-bomb side because Cressy's pushed up very aggressively over to that long phase. So if he gets taken down, that A-bomb side's going to be pretty much opened up and he's going to try and fall back, reposition to ramp.
They look towards Goose as well. Smoke's on. Molotov's down. He's behind the boxes, behind the ramp. Secondary play here with the AK. Good fit from Sax. Gets that one kill. Needs another pick to go his way, and indeed he gets it. 2 kills to his name. Raiko responds with 2 of his own, and the plant can be secured all at the back of the efforts of one AK-47. The awkward stomp seen here. Scrung sprays manly takes him down. Raiko has to ace this to give HONORIS map points again. Flashbang catches him blind. They know roughly where he is, and one small peek, one miss peek is what gives Stefan the chance to take the frag. Alternate attacks back to map and match point here. Need one more round to win the series and go to the playoffs.
Go for something quick, HONORIS, please. You just keep getting it picked apart from these AWPs. It's too slow at the moment, and Slacks, I mean, he's just finding too much. Maybe try and go for a quick mid to B or a quick B execution, something fast. Try and see if you can catch those orbs off guard up close and personal, because the default, it's not working. 2 rounds in a row now for the attack side in the second half. And look at the utility out from long. They're going to try and take the long challenge early on. Oh, the damage. The molly actually finds the opener. And this could be it, Jay. This is a 5-on-3 for the Germans.
2-man advantage. And they back off from the long house contention. Prism is here in the tunnels. And they 2 in 1 to do 1 point of damage. HONORIS pushing up to that mid position. The Molotovs go down again. 1 minute and 22 the clock. Plenty of time for HONORIS to work with here, but so carefully peeking, looking like they're going to split mid to B, and Mirbit's here to cover it off from CT Spawn. If he gets this kill on Stomp, this will mean everything to the CT side, all down to timing on the peak. If he even wants to peek it, he might play passive and wait for them to line up again. He did this before. Can he do it again?
He just needs to not swing. If he swings, he just gives up a free kill to Stomp. Considering the fact how sharp he's been so far, and well, of course he hits that. Of course he does, Jay.
2 flashes out to try to contest against it. No one's watching out the tunnel's entrance. The AWP forced up by the Molotov. Did he see the 2? He may have only seen 1 there. Prism making his way in. Spray through. Stefan drops Stomp, but him and Scrung fall. And the retake is on for alternate attacks. Slacks and Cressy, both players coming in from the very different entrances to the B-bomb site. 1 from mid, 1 from tunnels. Prism playing close at the mid doors. It comes out to Slacks' peak. Will he catch the man off? No, he looks away at the wrong moment. Cressy alone. Taz is watching. AK swings in. AWP's right there towards the doors. Forced opposition, but Prism adjusts. Gets 3 kills and gets us to a second OT. I think this is like the 6th or 7th overtime we've seen so far on the mainstream. HONORIS going the distance against alternate attacks.
It's going to be a long night, boys. It is going to be a long night. Wow, going to the second OT. And it honestly seems like who has got the worst T side is going to lose this, because, or the worst City side, I should say, because both teams have got 1 round on T each. So for me, the way I look at it, whichever team gets 2 rounds on T pretty much wins overtime for me.
All comes down to the T side. It almost feels like it's always down to the T side in overtime.
Yeah.
Or for Slack standing by here with the first face. Look at how quickly HONORIS are going to get here. You asked for quicker rounds from this T side, and that's what they're going to give you. Molotovs in Smokes down. Ryko and Taz will back off for the moment here because they can't seem to isolate that first kill.
I like the way that they've been able to force that AWP back quite deep into the site for Slacks, considering he was holding quite an aggressive angle. Oh, Skrunk, though. He even just tries aggression off the back of himself. Not really any support coming out. And, well, that's a great opening kill being found. And that's going to force HONORIS into the A-site execution from short. Run boost, maybe?
Indeed they will, but Slacks focus on the player below, does not get Taz, but Cressy's there for that. 2 left, 1 left. Stomp standing alone. 1 versus 5. Not, well, actually 2 points of damage done to Mirbit, but other than that, not a whole lot of anything being done to the CTs. Good scope intake, strong. The bomb's in CT control from here, so even if he was able to make his way to the B bomb site, it wouldn't have done anything. Stefan will shut him down before he goes that much further, and alternate attacks take the lead again.
Honestly, Stompers just looks so great with this AWP, and I would just be absolutely gutted if they lost in overtime on Dust 2 to go home. Considering, well, they're not going home yet, obviously, because it's the winner's game, but, you know, the fact that he's been able to have such a star performance, it would just be a shame to see them lose this map. But alternate attacks up 19 to 18. They've got the early round, and time again, HONORIS, they have gone quick into this short presence to at least get the control. But Taz, look how fast he is.
Trying up and out there, but unable to go much further than the stairs area. They'll go back. More back out position here as HONORIS contest but do not get kills. Instead, they actually do damage to alternate attack. Stefan in particular. Low HP on the AWP there in the A challenge. I believe that was Neo that was doing that damage. Off the back of those simple sprays through smokes, they will start to clear and they'll look towards the actual execution. Looks like it will be a B play. Haven't established that mid control. There's 2 players crossfire set, but Stefan alone here for the tunnels area. Flashbangs over, missing his flick. Will reface again, just like pop his head up occasionally. The back of the blue boxes, the smoke's coming down. Gets out of dodge. Neo dealt with by Mirbit. That's a start. Orb in, gets a kill through the smoke. Stomp is also extremely low. Skrunk could blind fire, probably take the man down, but Ryko in the mid play. Gonna try to split through the doors or window. The AK is coming out again. The M4 standing by at point blank positions. Ryko's got to get this flanking position through the smoke. Hurt out. Stefan adjusts with the orb. And the M4 is Skrunk. Finally challenges. Finally drops the bomb. Stomp left alone. This round's over.
That is such a tough shot. That is a ridiculously tough shot from Stefan. Oh my, it seems like Stomp's got a bit of a challenger at the moment. And Stefan on the double orb. Man, that was insane. And you know, you've got 2 AWPs, 1 at A, 1 at B from Slacks and Stefan, and HONORIS are like, well, which one do we want to like get wrecked by? Is it the 1 at A or the 1 at B?
Either one will lead to death. 20 rounds for alternate attacks, and maybe that T side could matter little. Cressy here against Stomp, takes out Mirbit. There's a player right behind him though. He still gets the frag. Prism dead, as is Stomp. 5 on 3. Big miss from Slacks. He gets his second chance on Taz. Consistently hitting these shots. Dropping the bomb. Not quite his 3rd kill. He's still testing for it though. And Ryko's left alone. Even if he gets this trade, he should end up going down in the end. 21 to 18, alternate attack to the flawless CT side. Is this gonna be enough to push them past the edge now?
It might be. It really might be. I mean, 3-0, I say it time and time again, if you go 3 up on overtime, it is so difficult for you to not get the victory. No matter what side you're on, no matter what map you're on. It just gives you so much momentum and it puts so much pressure on the opposition. And we have got a player DC'd over on the alternate attack side, so it should be, you know, a little bit of a moment. Looks like Cressy's back. Or Mirbit, it might have been. But, you know, you just look at those kills from HONORIS and you go, man, like, Stomp, 38 kills, that's huge. Everyone else is, like, not even close to 30.
He just closing in on the 40 bomb, you know.
The thing is, he just hasn't had support. You know, you even look at the attack side. Slacks is at 31, 34 for Stefan. I mean, kills don't matter entirely in terms of stats, but he just has not found the success in terms of, you know, support from his teammates.
Kind of holding him back, holding HONORIS back right here. And they need to release the beast, if you will.
Yeah.
Need to get this round under control, else they are done here in this matchup. Looking towards the elimination game in a moment's time, and already alternate attacks starting things off on the right foot. Stefan, first frag, Molotovs in against Neo, will force him forward. In fact, the AWP scene, smoke back, he's going to get out of dodge.
This is huge. This is absolutely massive. They've got a 5-on-3. They've forced Ryko so aggressively, and they know where he is. They can try and wide swing. If they could take him down, this round's pretty much over. Ryko needs to be able to get a couple of kills. That's the first. Can he follow up? He does a lot of damage onto Merbit. This is now very doable. He's dropped that bomb, but he needs a little bit more help. How is Ryko finding so many kills?
So not accounting for him, they had a utility out. Third player here with the AWP trying to recover that bomb and get it out of the long position. There's two more CTs making their way in, but
B's open.
It's timed well from Slacks. B is open. AK here from Stefan or Molotov out the CT spawn, not ready for the AUG. And they're going to put that bomb in from... Okay, no, he's going to go from mid, I thought for a second, but no. Back via the tunnels. 4 versus 3. Retake got to come up from HONORIS.
Okay, this is doable. This is very doable for the T's. Yes, they're in a man disadvantage, but it's going to be a post plant at this B bomb site. Do they try and force HONORIS in with a fake on the plant, or do they just stick it?
Got to stick it,
Looks like, yeah, they're going to stick it. Okay. Retake on for HONORIS. Let's see if they can do it.
2 players coming in from tunnels, 2 more from the B doors. Slacks is watching out with the AWP, nothing seen. And 1 player, the insurance policy in the back of the site. The AK going to take contact there. Slacks, first frag, flick to the second, going to be overcooked, but Stefan gets tagged on the other side of the site. Slacks gets Ryko and Prism, the last thing standing. It looks like it's all over for HONORIS. And indeed, it is 22-18 alternate attacks. Close this out in OT and close this out in the series at 2